I believe we are live with a whole bunch of us. Mr. Parker, NathanArt, Walker, Mutable Destiny, the late Mutable Destiny.
The late Immutable Destiny, the one that showed up like first.
Oh, you did show up first. That's right. I'm so proud.
Wow. Okay, Michael. Slander my character.
So what time did you get here compared to the rest of us?
How did I get here compared to the rest of you? Well, with the exception of Michael, I was here first.
I did not call you a Mutable Pedo Destiny.
I don't even know how you would string that together.
Yeah, that rolls right off the tongue.
Destiny.
It's rolling right off the tongue, Speed.
It just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, I should have chose a different name because they can do so many things with Speed of. You know, it just keeps on giving. I don't know. I got a raccoon problem.
You do?
I do. I'm gonna have to go address that. Should I go address that now while you guys chat? And
gonna have to go raccoon hunting.
I'm gonna have to go raccoon. Mr. Parker, we don't know you all that well. You've been around.
Yeah.
I've listened to you a little bit. Do you have a channel?
Yeah, actually, I had a stream of Nakasuchi from the Rage last night.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. So, but do you have a YouTube channel? We put out content. You do.
Yeah.
Why don't you? I'm going to give you a rant. Oh, you got a rant.
Yeah.
Put it in chat. Your channel, so that we can pimp you out.
All right.
Pick for you, so other people can find it. Yeah, and I'll put you in my list of people to check out and keep an eye on. We keep a close eye on you, y'all atheists. Can't even get the fucking day right for Saturday Night at the Atheist.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Where's Leo?
It's Sunday.
It's Saturday
Can't get
somewhere,
the day right.
Where's Leo? Now that I think of it.
Leo emailed me and said, "Oh, is there going to be a Saturday Night at the Atheist tonight?" And I said, "Sent you a damn link an hour ago." Like,
Yeah, he did that like 3 hours ago, didn't he? Like 3-4 hours ago?
Well, he sends me emails, but he never reads the replies that I send back to him. So I don't think he knows that he actually gets mail as well as, gives it. So
How hard is it to push? How hard is it to reply to all?
I know. That's the other thing that people are having a hell of a time with. It's like,
not
okay. So I have to keep retweeting the email back to the fucking individuals that are doing it. There's Leo. He finally figured it out. He is a smart individual. Did you get the email about Ian's T-shirt that he wants to send you? Leo.
Yes, I did. Me and him.
You did?
Yeah, we already have that underway.
Oh, good. Okay.
And it will not be a T-shirt. It will be a sweatshirt because winter is coming.
Oh.
Leo, did you get my email?
Yes, I did. So what I did is I went in and found some program online and used like a cartoonizer to make my profile picture. So if you still want to do some art for me, that's no problem at all. But I just cartoonized it. So
can I see it? Can you send it to me? Let me see. When you get a chance.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I do.
What is your handle? At what?
Take a guess.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
I was gonna say I thought I searched that and nothing came up.
Oh, let me see.
Okay, there it is. So I'm gonna follow you, and my profile picture is what it is. There we go.
I got it. Oh, okay. I like it.
But there is another. You said you wanted a picture that was straight on, like me looking straight. I can send you one if you still want to do some artwork, but I know that you do a lot of stuff for our socialist channel here, since we all kind of socialist speed of sound of gravity. That's what I'm. This is a socialist channel because we all use it.
Speed of sound of socialism.
Pretty much.
What's that? I could have done something like that, but I thought you wanted it more cartoon-like. So I wanted like a clearer picture so I could see your face to get like all those features and exaggerate them. But
after we're done here, I've got another picture that I can send you that I have, just a selfie of myself from 3 years ago. It's the best selfie I've ever taken. I often don't take selfies because I'm fugly, and selfies just don't
Are you leaning towards one of those the character pictures or whatever, where they like enlarge all of your features?
No, I think I might just have him draw something up in his own style instead of him doing somebody else's style. He can draw it in his own style. I think that'd be a lot better.
Yeah. So you guys like the new you like the icon?
The new what?
Yeah, I was laughing at it earlier. Yeah.
I don't know what? Do we like the new what?
This icon.
The thumbnail for the video.
Yeah, the thumbnail. I don't know why.
I'm gonna have to try to.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Oh yeah, that one I did see that. That was pretty funny. I thought we were supposed to be making Smokey Saint smaller because he's just not relevant.
But that one was a reference, I guess, for that video we put out.
Dude, Smokey's looking like hella jacked in that picture.
Smokey also doesn't care about blatant racism being spewed on his channel either.
Yeah, you seen that last night?
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened?
So this Henry guy who really just needs a good old dick slap across the face. That makes him gay, not me. Sorry. That's the way the rules work. Because first off, he kept calling Knock a fag and a faggot, and then he called him a bitch made nigger. Hard ER. Yes, hard ER. Smokey didn't say a fucking word. And that's his channel. He can run it how he wants, but that...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I called him out on that today. I was like, you're a racist supporter. He was like, oh, that's not how that works. I was like, I'm using your logic.
If you put something on your channel and you don't actively say, hey, man, that's not okay, then you're enabling it. Because you're platforming it. Yeah.
Well, just remember that Smokey has no balls. So
yeah.
Well, he does. But
in that picture that in the picture, I would definitely agree.
Has anybody seen Smokey's balls? They're about this big, but a whole lot tinier. They're like a little BB or like a mouse bearing or like a mouse ball if you've ever seen one of those. So if anybody sees little girl balls that are so fucking tiny, let me know, and I'll shove them back in Smokey's scrotum. Can anybody name that movie? Please tell me somebody else has seen that movie. It's The Heat. The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy.
That's all.
Oh God, it came out like 2014 or something like that. But that scene I fucking love that part. What is she doing? She's looking for my balls. Has anybody seen the captain's balls?
I've never seen that movie.
That movie. If you just type in The Heat balls on YouTube, you'll get the scene. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
That's why I like Melissa McCarthy. God, she is fucking funny.
Anyway, I'm back. Fed the raccoons. Everything's cool. Got about 17 of them out there. They're just about ready to butcher and eat raccoon sandwiches.
Why would you want to eat? I don't know if I'd eat coon.
Somebody ate raccoon. Was that you?
I've eaten raccoon. Yeah, I've eaten raccoon.
I would eat raccoon if it was fed like corn and some good grasses and stuff like that. I'd eat it, but I'm not eating a fucking.
Well, I mean, y'all got to remember, I'm from rural Alabama, right?
I'm from rural Iowa, dude. Do you know what the fuck people eat here? They will hit a deer and toss it in the back of the motherfucking shed. It doesn't have to be a deer. These people eat wild ass turkey, which tastes like shit.
Yeah, well, so what happened was every year my church would have this thing called the wild game dinner.
Yep, a game feed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they would just prepare, random shit. So I've had, possum, raccoon, squirrel, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, squirrel, I've heard, is not bad. I really haven't had any of those.
Yeah, it was squirrel goulash, actually.
Animals. That doesn't sound bad at all.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I was surprised with it. Mm-hmm. I mostly just ate it for the novelty. I'm generally trying to cut out mammals from my diet, but
why does anybody even watch SFT's videos?
So you eat reptiles?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I eat birds. So yeah.
You've never had rattlesnake? I've never had rattlesnake. I've never had gator either, and I do want to have gator. I've had
gator. Wait, you've never had gator?
No, I've heard fried gator bites are supposed to be really fucking.
It's like chicken, but slightly spicier. I mean, it's because they're both herbivores.
I haven't eaten rattlesnake yet because one hasn't pissed me off.
I wonder. Okay, so if alligator tastes like chicken, I've had alligator. I can say it tastes like everything's like, oh, well, it tastes like chicken. I think alligator actually does taste like chicken. And just through
Similar.
like phylogenetic bracketing, does that mean that T-Rex and like stegosaurs also would have tasted like chicken?
I don't know.
They
I
might
think
have.
it depends on the seasoning.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking because like, okay, so both of their closest relatives taste like chicken, so that means anything in between would also taste like chicken, right?
Well, bullheads taste like chicken. The fish.
They say
Bullhead?
frog tastes like chicken too.
One fish I'm
Frog
not,
Frog doesn't taste that much like chicken. It's a lot
Halibut.
stringier. Oh,
Frog
halibut?
tastes.
I'm not a fan of it. Like I'll eat it if that's all there is, but I'm not.
I've never had it. That's a redneck Canadian Alaskan thing, right?
Yeah. I've had swordfish. Not bad. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's not bad. Mahi is good. Obviously, that's a really fucking good fish.
Yeah.
I like a lot of perch, salmon, crappie, bluegill, walleye, fucking catfish.
Alaskan king crab.
King crab, lobster. I'm not a
I
picky
love
eater.
those
There are
fish.
very few things that I will like refuse to eat. Most of them are shit that's just gross. Like I will never have caviar. I will never have tofu. Nope,
Wait,
I will,
why?
I will
Caviar
never
is
eat
sturgeon
caviar.
eggs, I believe.
I'm not eating fucking fish eggs. That's nasty as fuck. It's
You
gross.
tripping, man. You tripping.
Nope,
That
never
shit
eat
is
caviar. Nope,
delicious.
not gonna happen. Nope, I don't give a fuck.
We used to fry sucker eggs, like
I will
fry
never
them
have
like
oysters
eggs,
either, or clams.
fishy eggs.
I
Snails?
also would.
Yeah.
I've heard
So-
oysters are just really salty and slimy, and nope,
Hmm.
not doing it.
I mean, I would try. Oh, I fucking love oysters and stuff. I just wouldn't eat caviar because blue sturgeons are like, I'm pretty sure they're endangered. So
Yeah, I like caviar.
I've never tried it. I wouldn't know. I mean, I might try it like
do
once
eat
for
sushi.
novelty.
I like sushi.
but I
I
don't
fucking
think I'd
love
order it.
sushi.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
hard
yeah,
not to
yeah,
like sushi though.
Back in my heyday, I dated this Russian girl, and she put me on caviar and
Oh, really?
smoked salmon. Yeah,
Now
and I
smoked
became.
salmon.
Mm-hmm. What you call it? Salmon or salmon?
Salmon.
I've always said salmon.
That's
guess
how I
I'm
thought.
not
I don't know how
salmon.
it's actually pronounced. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. We know what you're talking about.
Holy shit! Praise that I am. His page isn't available.
Did you get taken
Oh.
down?
I don't
What
know.
is YouTube accounts not?
Do you think you got reported for being a bigot?
Probably after we did our thing with Manny Karen.
Oh,
I don't.
no.
No, I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, that's not good because I just searched "praise I am that I am" and usually his channel is the first thing that pops up and
Nope.
it's not there.
Sam, it's probably is taking that. Yep.
Damn.
Let me try again.
Wait,
No.
do you have any like
History.
direct links?
Holy shit!
Let me try doing this to an actual Chrome search.
What
Look at my
happened to
history.
Praise? Maybe they actually started listening to some of the stuff he's saying.
Well, either that or something got flagged. Who the fuck knows?
Because I wanted to get, I wanted to go there and he did that whole. He read that whole. What the hell kind of law is it that they were talking about? He read the whole thing about who died. Oh, that praise that. Anyway, he read that whole thing that him and Manny were talking about, where he was trying to teach. He was trying to teach Manny, who was a native Hebrew speaker. He was trying to teach him Hebrew. So anyway, he was trying to make a case, and his case, and he did it on his. He did an after show video, and I didn't know that. But anyway, the case he made, like he read the definition of the Hebrew word, and Manny was saying that it meant what the hell it meant man. Man should not lay with man. And praise is saying no, it means mankind. So it means women and men, right? So he read the definition, and right at the top of the definition, for 3/4 of it, it said mankind, or man. And then somewhere in the middle, it said mankind. And he said, oh, yeah, you see right there, it says mankind. Well, then he showed the whole statement. And one of them was, any man who lays with a man should be slain. Any man who lays with a beast should have the beast killed. And then it says, like down a little further, it says, any woman that lays with a beast shall be killed. And then it goes back to talking about man. And his point is that the first statement meant man and woman.
Well, they should have killed Queen Victoria of Russia. I think it was Russia.
But you see what's wrong with that. They
Was
went
it
down
Russia?
like 3 verses and they said woman explicitly.
Okay, now I'm going to have to look that up. Because there was a
Yeah,
Queen Victoria somewhere, I think it was of Russia, literally had a contraption designed so that horses could be lowered over her in her bed so that they could fuck her.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. So I was watching the Mini Praise video earlier today, and it was really weird. I was going through the gene expression part, and oh my god, Praise very clearly doesn't know how like genetic dispositions work versus like, well, I guess just phenotypic expression in general. Because, you know, there's that whole thing, like, there's the alcoholic gene or whatever, which makes you, like, 80% more likely to be an alcoholic. But it's still based on, like, percentage. There's still largely cultural factors that'll influence how the genes are expressed, right? So even if there's a, like, there was that whole thing, it was like, you're 20% more likely to be gay if your twin was gay. Or actually, Minnie was saying, you're 20% more likely to have a same-sex sexual encounter if your twin is also homosexual or something like that.
And a same-sex encounter, sexual encounter, doesn't mean you're gay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I wanted to correct that as well in my own language. But just that, like, well, a 20% genetic disposition based on one allele is a pretty good disposition. Like, that's a pretty good value for just one gene. You know what I mean? So that means that there is at least some genetic correlation, you know? And it's not just, oh, well, these people chose to be gay, therefore we should fucking put them in electroshock therapy.
Yeah, and he actually said in that video, he said that we should not allow them to be gay. He said they should not be allowed. So he's he was talking about law.
I was listening to his intro thing, and he did like a total 180 from like, he was like, okay, so nobody's naturally gay. Pedophiles, gays are pedophiles. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Oh my God. Yeah. I think Manny handled that incredibly well.
Yeah. But the thing, okay, and then I went over and what else did I listen to? I went over and listened to Standing for Truth this morning. Then I listened to Otangelo and Joel talking about how saying that we have fossil evidence for the whale is not really evidence at all. And I noticed this theme that runs through creationists. Their mind comes to a full stop when it comes to a simple logical conclusion, and they don't know it. They have no idea that this is going on. It's like if you saw everything backwards, you really wouldn't have any idea that you were seeing everything backwards.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely amazing.
You know, I get that, and I have sympathy for like the creationists. I don't have any sympathy for homophobes, but I feel like the Venn diagrams are pretty close to a 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
The what?
Well, like the Venn diagram for creationists versus homophobe is probably pretty close. I would say 99% of creationists are likely homophobic.
Yeah, well, they're little, when they think about it, their little willies get confused, and they you know, they're like, oh my God, I'm watching two men kiss. I don't know what to do with that. My willy is confused.
Evil.
It's evil.
Don't get hard.
Yeah, it's sort of it's a statistical thing. It's the slope of the regression line or something like that. But anyway, 30%, what is it? It would be 0 if there were absolutely no genetic effects at all on the phenotype or on the trait.
Praise was having a huge problem because he kept confusing being genetic with it being inherited. And in the comments, I even said, I have autism, which is genetic. My mother does not. My father does not. So it's genetic, but it's not inherited.
Yeah, well,
are you really this fucking stupid? I don't even think the guy would know how to work through Punnett squares.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, not even just Punnett square. Like, gene expression is so much more complex than Praise would like to believe, and there's not just going to be like one gene that, you know, is the gay gene or something like that. That's a super reductionist view of how anything in biology works. You know, everything is way more complex than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, genes are not simple objects.
Yeah.
They are very variable in terms of like how they get expressed and other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dan has a very, very tiny little human in his life now, so he had to go
He has
to it.
2 tiny humans. One of them is tinier than the other. One of them's like 1 or 2. The other one, I don't know if the name of his children are public knowledge, so I'll keep it to myself.
Really?
But the other one's like 2 or 3 months old.
That's called serial creation.
What is?
Serial creation. When you have one that's 1 and 2, and then you have one that's 3 months.
Yeah. Well, I think
you're a serial creationist. You're creating babies, creating babies. He said,
Yeah.
it took you a while, Walker.
I'll be right back because there's
Well,
no
the rest of these
raisins in
guys
my
didn't even
trail
hit
mix,
it.
and I got to add some craisins to it because you got to have fruit. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So wow, I'm really concerned about Praise's page.
Dr. Dan just said it's something called the selection differential and the generation change in the phenotype. I don't really know what that means yet, but
Where did he say that?
In the comments.
Uh,
Yeah, but I don't know. And even then, all right, so like let's pretend, you know, homosexuality has no basis in genetics or anything. It's just completely a choice. Why the fuck can't you just let people live how they want to live? Like,
I know.
If it's just two consenting adults, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, well, gay people don't usually like that genetic conversation because they're like, fuck you, it's my choice. So what? How I got here doesn't matter. You know, it's what I'm doing.
I mean, to me, it's more so curious, like, why they pay particular attention to that one Levitical law and just
oh my God, the cool names.
Yeah, those are cool names.
Yeah, it amazes me why they like choose to pay attention to that one particular Levitical law, but ignore the rest of them.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten to the biblical debate and stuff, but like in the oldest text that we have of Leviticus, I'm pretty sure it was mostly referring to like incest, right? So like if a man lays with his father or something like that, it is an abomination. I'm pretty sure that's what like the original thing was, and it got actually changed when Christianity became like mainstream. I watched a video from, I think it was Digital Hammurabi about this.
Yeah, then I would take it
just because
the guy's like really well read. Like he has a PhD. And, like,
Digital Hammurabi? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I love that channel.
I think me and my dad passed out once at the same party. Does that count?
It's, yeah. And I think it's actually really interesting because, I mean, that would make sense. The whole, if a man lays with his father, that's an abomination, you know, going against like specifically gay incest. Because there was also lines against, you know,
yeah, that's why I wanted to get Praise's page up. He
Mm-hmm.
was displaying as casuistic law where they do the if this, if,
Mm-hmm.
and he had the page up, but his whole site is down. Wow.
But what I was saying was that definitely reflects the attitudes towards sexuality in like ancient Mesopotamia and ancient Greece and stuff. This whole like anti-homosexual behavior. There's two things that are more or less new to Western culture, and it's one like monogamous heterosexual relationships, right? Those are a fairly Western construct as far as I understand. And then also just the vehement hatred of you know, gay people and stuff. Like that's a fairly new thing, which I find pretty interesting because, you know, that's something that the ancients definitely had right.
Yep. So,
and the whole creationism movement itself is like a relatively new kind of thing in scope of like.
Oh my God!
Sure.
Yeah, I legitimately think the ancient like Jewish scholars that fucking wrote the Bible, the Bronze Age sheep herder dudes that could read and write, would have laughed at the young Earth creationists and the Christian fundamentalists.
Absolutely, because it wasn't intended to be taken literally.
No, it really wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think anybody like looking back on that document would really like find it reasonable to try and say that the book is supposed to be taken literally.
I don't think that the homosexual part, at least in specifically Leviticus, is referring to the whole of homosexuality. As I have understood, was number one, the word homosexual did not exist until like 1800s. Mm-hmm. And I think what I have been told, and I don't know, there's a couple people I want to talk to that I know would know more than this, but I did have somebody who I don't remember them having any formal degrees in it, but somebody who's done a lot of studying on it. And what the Bible originally said, at least as far as we know, who stated that they weren't saying all of homosexuality is wrong. What it was saying is that a man could go fuck another dude if he wanted to. It was only wrong if he was doing that while he was married because of the adultery aspect of it. Mm. But I don't know if that's correct, so do not quote me on that.
Yeah, I thought it was like an incest thing, but I don't really know.
And I have heard that too.
The whole like anti-homosexual sentiments are a very recent thing as far as like world history is concerned. But what I was saying about the Hebrew scholars laughing at them and stuff, it's very clear, like, that all of the dates and the super long ages that the young Earth creationists add up to get to the young Earth creationist timeline, those were just ceremonial ages so that they could commemorate the construction of, I think, the Western Temple or something like that, or like King David's Temple. Like the way they were trying. So I think it was so the reason that there's 4,000 years, like from the start of creation to the building or the completion of King David's temple, is because that they considered a generation time to be 40 years. And so that would make the people who were there as soon as the King David's temple was built the 100th generation, which is like the special generation or whatever. So they just, munched around the dates and the ages of like Noah and all those other people so that they could have exactly 100 generations from Adam to the present day. But I don't think they ever wanted those dates to be taken literally. They didn't have like absolute dating methods. Everything was relative. They were just doing it ceremonially. And like, these things make sense if you like look at them in context. Smokey's all about interpreting shit in context, right? And I agree with to an extent. I don't think, Yeah, it's a really weird, like, you should interpret what's currently in the Bible with its historical context, but you can't interpret the historicity of the Bible or like the historical accuracy and how it's changed and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, the young Earth creationists have very little to stand on, even biblically. And once you take into their scientific positions, it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because all they do is draw upon misrepresenting actual science.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all they have to do.
Yeah, he can read it and he gets an entirely different idea from what we just read, and it's not that complicated English at all. It's just, but he did it with that Hebrew passage with that law book about. I mean, it was amazing to watch him and watch him like make such a clear error in reading something and still stand by his position. It's like, what the fuck? I mean. Yeah. And it happened here too on this Otangelo video, which I'm probably going to share at some point. It's just absolutely amazing to listen to these guys talk. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But like I was
amazing when they have conversations with actual professionals, and you can just see in their faces, how upset they're getting because they know they can't go against what these people are saying. Like,
why do you think standing for truth?
Otangelo and Demeter, you can just see, Otangelo's face every time Demeter says something. He's just like, "Oh, fuck me."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's standing with like Dr. Dan. Mm-hmm. He if you ever like check his community post, like every other one is just Dr. Dan, the pseudoscience man, lies again.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I want to show you that look you're talking about that they get on their face.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. that is absolutely the look.
That screen is so fucking blurry. I can't even read the words. It looks literally like another language.
What's happening?
It's blurry a little bit. It probably just takes time to load.
Oh, it must be you. Holy shit! Wow.
Holy shit!
Try resharing the screen, I guess.
Boy.
Oh fuck! The way you said that was funny. That's like it reminds me of when everybody's freaking out. Well, I should say the conservatives are freaking out about Joe Biden when he was talking to the troops the other night. Clap for that, you stupid bastards. The way he said that, I was like, after he said that in my mind, I'm just like, you're all right, Biden. Like, because I don't think people understand why he said that. It was because of the audience that he was addressing.
Well, that's better. That's amazing. It's not much better, but it's better.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a little better.
That is the look. That's where they go.
I haven't heard that Joe Biden clip. I'll definitely watch that later.
I think I just made Godless Engineer move with my mouse. That was cool.
Oh, wow.
It's the little things in life that thrill me.
I felt bad for Otangelo when I saw that.
I kind of do too because he's kind of a nice guy, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you're misinformed. I mean, and it's also not my fault that when you've been corrected on your misinformation, you refuse to correct yourself. So for him, it's his own damn fault, you know?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
right.
with Otangelo, like the thing I find really curious, and I'm not an expert like in biochemistry, but I've done enough studying with it to kind of understand like the core aspects of it. But it's just it confuses me that someone like who even says like he's not extremely well read or trained in that field feels confident enough to make claims about like irreducible complexity in regards to like protein design and shit like that. And it's like
talking about Otangelo.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like a weird mixture of like well-informed and misinformed. I think as far as creationists go, he does have the largest like knowledge base to pull from, but I don't think he understands anything he's saying.
I don't think he's direction though either. Like, look how many conversations me and Demeter have had with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he still pretends like we haven't talked to him even once.
Well, I have yet to see evidence that he understands how an enzyme works.
Huh. Well, apparently Matchbox thinks enzymes use quantum tunneling.
Yes, they do.
Until you bring Otangelo actual evidence, what he wants, then he
like
won't
some
get
ion channels use quantum tunneling actually, but not usually proteins don't.
I think you just walked all over Nathan. Yeah. Can you not hear him?
No, he's good. He's good.
What were you saying, them again?
No, I was just saying until you bring Otangelo evidence, the evidence what he wants, which is impossible, then he's still going to believe what he want to believe at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, when you bring him any evidence at all, he rejects it, and then he wants evidence for every single step all the way from the very beginning. And and then they have a conversation about this, him and Joel.
Once again, did y'all see the conversation between like me and Otangelo and like Dragnaut? That was funny.
Yes.
Like, what happened?
So basically Otangelo. So I was in Math Pig's after show with a conversation with Erica or something.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I went in just to say hi because I had been meaning. Brainbug's been trying to get me to talk to Math Pig for a while. So I was in and talking, and Otangelo appeared in the comments section because he's everywhere. And he's like, "Let me in, guys. Y'all want to talk evolution?" And he's like, "I won't even talk about abiogenesis this time." And I was like, "Well, this is a once-in-the-lifetime opportunity to get him to not talk about abiogenesis." So he comes in, and I ask him, like, "Okay, so like, what is your best piece of evidence against evolution?" Something along the lines of that. And he said the Cambrian explosion. And so, I don't think I did super well. It was kind of off the cuff. I wasn't really expecting to talk about debate a creationist or anything. But I basically gave a rundown of like how the Cambrian explosion wasn't just like a single explosion with no life preceding it. And, another huge misconception is that like all major phyla or body plans appeared in the Cambrian. It's like, yes, but the
not really.
The vertebrate, or not even the vertebrate, but like the chordate representation from the Cambrian was essentially like worms, right? And he laughed at me. Like he started laughing. He's like, "Do you really believe you came from a worm?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, not a true worm. It wasn't, annelids. It wasn't nematodes. It was, but if it was alive today, it's very similar to like cephalochordates or lancelets, right? They look very worm-like." But yeah, he started laughing, and later in the conversation, Drag just starts like trolling him so hard by like laughing at everything he says and all that kind of stuff, and like Otangelo just rage quit.
Yeah. What stream was that? Which one was that?
Math Pig Erica after show.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if Otangelo bases like how to believe things based upon like how sensible they sound to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
sensible.
Like,
I don't know because I don't know how many.
Sensible to us, we all know, is most certainly not sensible to a creationist.
Well, okay, so the whole thing, like me saying, okay, well, our phyla is representation and the Cambrian is a worm. Yeah, that is kind of like out there that sounds weird. That's the whole thing. Like, so you believe that a pine tree and a whale are related?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but dude, you're skipping so many middle steps. Like, yeah, okay, if you go back far enough, we're descended from a very simple bilateralian animal that probably looked a lot like a worm, right? Because that's what evolution would predict. You know, at some point in the past, you're going to have a basal body plan, right? We're also descended from a fish, you know, hence my name. And we're also descended from monkeys and all this other stuff. You know, it's not like you can skip the steps, because when you do skip the steps, that's what makes evolution impossible.
Yeah.
But we sure as hell didn't descend from a pine tree.
Yeah.
Well, I just can't believe that you think that pine trees and elephants are related. And then are they both eukaryotes? Well, why is that really? Are they both eukaryotes? Oh, Jesus fuck.
That was a good debate.
Mean, even a fifth grader
Yeah.
can look at a dog and a mosquito and see that they're different. Well, no shit. He just face palms like, dude, God damn, you're so dumb.
No. Okay, that's one of my pet peeves. I don't think Enthoven's dumb. I think he's dishonest. He's literally just lying for money.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's a little mix of the both, because like his sources, right? Like back when he was popular, like 80s and 90s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was his heyday. Like you could tell like he didn't really understand the stuff he was saying, because like he would analogize things or like try to represent things in just very odd kind of ways and just hyper simplistic.
Yeah, he still doesn't really know how genetics works, which is fun.
He doesn't understand how plate tectonics work.
I don't think a lot of them
Yeah, he
understand how
doesn't.
genetics works.
Yeah.
From what I heard today with Standing for Truth, he says the words, but I don't think he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Does he think? Okay, so I was listening like to part of your weather report earlier today. Does he genuinely think like that each nucleotide like that comprises a gene like is its own allele?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too.
okay. Let me try to clear that up. You can say that. No, hang on a second. An allele you can decide is basically any locus or group. So you could say that it's a nucleotide, but it isn't commonly done that way. But you can say that, and because allele just means that you're crossing. You're looking from one, in a diploid, you're looking from one to the other, and you're deciding whether or not they're the same. And you can do that with one nucleotide, but the way he's using it is flat out fucking stupid. And Dr. Neanderthal Jensen uses the same exact theory, you know?
Well, you know what?
Holy shit, did I say his name wrong?
I gotta go check my pork fillet. I'll be right back.
That is so disrespectful of me I keep making that mistake. It just rolls off the tongue.
Dr. Neanderthal Jensen. Oh no.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait a minute.
That's a bad way to like try and define an allele, though, because
It's useless.
Well, it doesn't make any fucking sense because
it's
so many
not
of those.
useful because like alleles. So like alleles are defined like in portions of 3, right? So I mean, when genes get read, like they get read like triplets at a time, and typically, like if you change the second or third amino acid or second or third codon, you typically won't.
Or not second or third codon, second or third base.
Yeah, second or third base.
Yeah.
If you change second or third base, typically you won't change the identity of the amino acid. And if you do, it usually is a synonymous mutation.
Yeah.
But like it's usually only the first nucleotide, like if you mutate it, that it'll drastically change.
Yeah.
The identity of the code.
Proteins are already super robust. Like it's really hard to fuck up a protein.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So I mean, those of us like that know what isoforms are. I mean, it's that like some proteins, like based upon where they're expressed or what cell they're expressed in, are different because they have different folded patterns or they have different activities based upon like the pH or what that cell needs that protein to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you want to know something that proves design? All right. So in 2 humans, there are, there's a ploidy count of 4, right? And there's 4 nucleotides. So for created heterozygosity, you could just have literally one of every nucleotide at every single position. And then, through the magic of recombination, it just all happens to become genes.
Yeah, and they all happen to work, which they wouldn't. What Standing is stretching for, that's why I really want to get him over to the channel to explain his theory in detail. But so far he hasn't responded. But every time I see him in chat, he says, "When are we going to talk about created heterozygosity?" It's like, answer your goddamn emails.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
dying to talk about it.
I think it's more of a posturing thing, honestly, because he does the same thing with Dr. Dan, and it's like, he's always like, "Come talk to me, come talk to me." When are we going to talk in the chat and stuff? But then he doesn't make any effort to actually talk to someone other than commenting on their videos.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I think it's one of his, oh hey, do you know I was a wrestling coach? Come fight me. I'm a big dick kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Standing's fun to talk to. I would talk to him over 10 Maddoxes.
God, yeah, it's almost impossible to have a conversation with Maddox. It's one that's like actually like freaking productive, and that goes somewhere. It's weird though, because I have had like one or two good conversations with him, like, where he wasn't a complete fucking asshole.
Yeah, like I said, I've only had one conversation with Maddox, and it lasted for like 30 seconds while Sal was going to help his grandmother or something. And we were talking about it was like he was talking about how the increasing prevalence of things like autism is because of genetic entropy, right? Like there's more cases of autism nowadays because of genetic entropy, and I was like, no, it's probably just because we have better mental health awareness and better screening options. I don't have anything to like support that, but you're not supporting your statistic anyways. And he's like, wait, so you think all of that increase, this 50% increase or whatever, is due to better screening? And I just said, yeah. And then we just sat in silence for 3 or 4 seconds.
Holy shit. 15 minutes left. I'm trying to I've got a book on epigenetics. I wanted to show something, but do you want to play a clip here? Okay, sure. That's kind of interesting because this is Saturday. Wait a minute. Okay, that's Sunday. I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I got to find it. Oh, there's praises failed channel. 404 not okay.
Oh, so his channel just straight up did get deleted.
Yeah, I think so. The whole channel. What the hell?
Fair enough. I mean, he was espousing some pretty bigoted things. So,
well, me and my brother were talking today, and he told me that he had a trip down memory lane. He went to the old Catholic church in the small town where we lived, and we used to go to the Presbyterian church. So we started talking about what happened to the churches. The Catholic one is the only one standing. The Lutheran church got struck by lightning and burned down.
You guys don't even
exploded.
know. I'll tell you what. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Standing sideways with a broken broom. This is some good fucking pork fillet. Oh, man. I thought I was going to butcher this, but... See, because I've cooked pork chops and I've cooked pork steaks, but I've never done a pork fillet. I did all right. Oh, God. And bacon wrap, too. Son of a bitch.
Leo, this is a children's show. You can't have an orgasm on screen.
I'm not having an orgasm. Don't put Amelia Clark on the screen.
You see,
well, you want me to be honest? She was singing in Italian in a video I saw today. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit of a chub.
Nope.
Nathan, I think you got to yell when you want to talk.
No. I was saying, I posted praise I am. It's link inside the private chat. It's back up. Maybe because I'm on a Canadian server.
Hang on, let me try again.
Go to 404, not found.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, still 404.
I think
it's probably undergoing a strike, and probably it'll be reinstated later.
Oh, it came up for me. I'll post it in the chat.
I wonder who struck him.
Trump might have found out that he said something bad. No, actually, that's not true. I don't know. Trump might have deleted it. Well, yeah, I was telling you, the Lutheran church in my hometown got struck by lightning and burned. And I told my brother, I said, that had to make the Lutherans pretty nervous.
Yeah, I was about to say, I bet there was plenty of conversions to the Catholic Church the next day.
I mean, it didn't hit the Catholic Church, didn't hit the Presbyterian Church, just the Lutheran Church.
Okay, I was going to ask before I went to go get my port. Could somebody explain what an allele is? Because I think I'm going to butcher what the definition of it is. As I understand it, it's a mutation. It's a variant of a gene.
Yeah, that's how I've always. Yeah.
Okay. Most times.
Well, it's a locus on the genome, something that you pick, and you kind of get to decide what you're talking about. And then it would be, an allele would be when you're referring to the difference between one locus and the same locus on another chromosome or in another organism.
About single nucleotide variation, sound like describing that as an allele is very contrived because there's already a word for that. There's already SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphism.
And there's a difference. Well, a single nucleotide polymorphism typically is present in 1% of the population or more.
Oh, single nucleotide variation is the other one.
And a single nucleotide variation is any change at all, of which we have, thousands and millions, So they had to basically limit it. So it's sort of, and I think the cutoff is 1%.
And a gene is just a sequence of DNA that generally codes for something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Codes for particular types of proteins?
Yep, that would be a gene. Codes for a protein.
Now, see, when I don't understand something or don't think I understand something, I don't act like I do. I ask people who I know do.
Speaking of not understanding something, Leo, so for some X, all f of X implies
hold on.
Y?
Let me. No.
What the fuck?
Sort of. I don't even remember. Oh, I know what you're from earlier today when fucking Smokey wanted to talk about logic, and so I asked.
Yeah.
So what I was saying.
Predicate logic is
what I was saying is that for every oh Jesus, how the fuck was I saying that? I'm trying to remember what it is I was trying to convey to him.
Yeah, but it literally says for some X, all f of X, f of X implies
I think it was
Y.
for all Y's, which would be a function of a variable of X. I'd have to see what I wrote because I don't even remember. I think I wrote for all Y of X, for all Y variables or Y functions of a variable X, there exists. Oh, how did I word
X.
that? I have to see
exists.
what I wrote. I'd have to see what I wrote again because I don't remember. It made sense to me then.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what is he trying to say? Predicate logic is like that. You look at an expression, it's like, what in the fuck are they trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
But you can do some really fancy cut and paste shit with.
I think I remember what it was. It was for all variables X, there exists some function Y of that variable X, which then implies.
Yeah, but you said for all functions. You didn't. You said for some variable X.
Well, can you post it? Can you did you copy paste that? Can you put it in chat? Because I don't remember exactly what I wrote.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. We'll figure it out.
Just remember that the choice of variable is arbitrary. So. Just
wait, what?
The what?
I didn't variable is arbitrary.
What?
Let's run that clip.
Yeah.
We don't. You don't want to talk about Nathan. You don't want to talk about predicate logic.
Well, that would be more math. Well, sort of predicate logic, mathematical logic that I learned from that big, meanie, stinky, poopy, doo-doo head, Steve McRae.
I learned from a really good friend of mine named Steven.
I learned it from a guy named Steven.
Cool.
I do not know logic.
I call Steven my professor.
You could say there exist two types of variables: normal variables and dummy variables.
Oh shit! What do you got, Loki? Oh, you just got it. Okay, he has ennui. Sometimes he has a mouse, but he has ennui.
So good and tasty. I'm sorry.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Now we're gonna play a clip.
I don't know if anybody's seen that little video, but that fat guy who's just dumping rants on everything. He's like, "Oh god, it's so good." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's everybody in Iowa."
Smokey and logic do not go together very well.
I need to talk to Brenda because I know she knows logic pretty goddamn well, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's very well read with it. Ask Smokey the next time you come across him.
Okay, I gotta step over.
Just ask Smokey next time you see him, what the difference between a precedent is and an antecedent is.
Oh, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
And that's what I did. He wanted to mention logic, and I was like, well, let me throw some symbols that are used in logic that I know of in mathematical logic, and let's see if he obviously doesn't know. Of course, he kept getting timed out, so he couldn't respond anyway.
Someone should talk to LPP, logical, plausible, probable, about logic.
Fuck.
He's still
That would be
recovering.
funny. Oh, God, that would be funny.
Shit, Loki just told me that Thor fell in the well, but he didn't. So he was meowing plaintively. Okay, I'm going to play a clip. And remember the safe word and loudly, please. Anyway, this is logic.
There's several ways that I can do that. There's
What's happening? Oh.
I was going to ask, can the safe word be beta?
You're going to what?
I was going to ask you, can the safe word be beta?
No, it's you can't have too many safe words.
Yeah, we can't have too many safe words. So
Also, I like foreskin.
I think many had a problem with the safe word foreskin today because of the whole Jewish Anyway, but I told them that, sorry.
Rabbi joke. Good thing you didn't make the rabbi joke about foreskins.
Whenever I think of circumcision, I always think of the scene from Men in Tights. If anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, I always think of the Family Guy like runaway gag thing where I forget what it is, but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Okay, Dr. Dan wants
done like finishing like this elaborate like service. He's like, well, what do we owe you? What do we owe you for your fantastic services? Just the tips.
I got it. I went to your video, and so what I said is that for all variables x, there exists a y function of that variable x, such that the y variable implies the y function implies the variable x.
Are we going backwards?
No, that's
okay.
what I wrote.
Say that to me. Say that to me again.
So what it would be written if you were to just read it as it's in the notation there, it'd be for all x there exists y of x such that y implies x.
Oh,
but
I thought
you have to annotate that. So for all variables x there exists a function y of that variable x such that if you have the function y, that implies that you have the variable x. Which
my memory tells me that you had the for some x.
So it's the upside down a x comma. The backward
but I thought you had that
y of x such that y arrow pointing to the x, which means implies.
Yeah, but that's backwards from what I remember.
Yeah, well, you obviously remember it backwards.
I'm surprised you just didn't use subset notation to convey that.
Because I didn't want to. I was trying to be basic with Smokey. I was.
He was.
Yeah.
And then I blocked Smokey before Smokey could give us his brilliant answer.
He wouldn't have even addressed that.
No, he would have given you some shit.
He has no idea what those symbols mean.
Yeah. That makes my brain hurt. Do y'all want to watch? I'm lowbrow bio boy. Do y'all want to watch the clip?
Okay.
Yep.
Dr. Dan stopped in and he missed the whole allele definition thing that we were talking about, and he should have been here because he could have straightened this out if I'm wrong about it.
Alleles, huh?
Allele.
Alleles of Matt Dillahunty.
It's not allele, it's allele.
Allele. I like allele.
Oh, Allele is a name. I know that guy. A-L, and his last name is L-E-A-L. No, I'm just fucking.
Oh, Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan's getting excited.
Uh-oh.
I prefer the term allele.
Allele.
The reason
it's allele.
Trump would say allalele.
There's so many allele, my buddy.
What?
So the reason I pronounce it as allele is because there's a very similar word in there's a very similar word like in organic chemistry, which is allene, and you pronounce it the same way.
Okay, now I gotta look at what an allene is. Don't fucking tell me.
It's a
right.
Guy named Al.
A-L-L-E-N-E.
I knew a guy named Eel.
A molecule having two carbon double bonds that share
Albert C. Eel. Yeah, cuff. What is it? Cuffy. Yeah. Okay, we are digressing.
Yeah.
Our show's going to hell. Play the clip.
Been digressing for an hour. Yeah, let's play the clip.
Yeah.
Single nucleotide all LAs. What's an all LA?
All LA. Well, Albert C. Allele was a famous scientist who discovered the single nucleotide polymorphism.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just like, did you guys know who invented the private plane, right? The British guy, J. Private Planington.
Wow.
Oh my God! Are you guys drinking? Are you guys
No,
drinking?
I fucking wish I was.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Hey, Ian, you want to send
you
me
go
a
ahead,
case of beer?
Nathan.
Just fucking around.
Have a drink for us, Nathan.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna get a sweatshirt and I'm gonna get some Australian beer with it. That's like
Yeah, I was about to say in
12
Australia they
something.
use that shit as currency.
Yeah, it's gonna be 12 point something ABB, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, which is fine with me. I can drink that shit. So,
Anyways, clip.
That's pretty good. You got to think about it for a second, though, Scott. Okay, I'm gonna play a clip. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere, or if it's gonna take. But you guys probably aren't gonna shut up long enough to listen to it. But
here,
we'll
let me
try.
just flick my mic
There's
up.
several ways that I can do that. There's several different transitions.
Oh, hang on a second. I gotta fucking. I don't like going too fast.
Yeah, I don't. It fucks.
Wait
me.
a minute. What just happened to me?
You fucked up.
Settings.
I hit the wrong little button.
Goddamn boomers, man.
Oh, I know, fucking boomers. I gotta get rid of. Well, okay, that's why they invented the virus.
That's why
The virus is taking us out. Okay,
There are several ways that I can do that. There's several different.
I just want to comment that, for the last 5 years, I've heard nothing but complaints about fucking boomers. And then all of a sudden a virus shows up that kills us almost exclusively. And you think I'm not supposed to think conspiracy? Fuck you, assholes.
Transitional forms that I can point you to. The whale being one.
Nope. Whale's a mammal. It shows things walking on the earth that went back into the water, if anything.
What the hell? Okay. Foreskin.
Mammals walk on land. Is that the definition of a mammal?
We need to get a hold of who sang the song Jolene. That wasn't Dolly Parton, was it? Or
No, it was Dolly Parton.
Okay, we need to get her and have her sing one Joel, Joel.
Yeah. Okay, I want to listen to that again because
Joel.
okay, he's a plasma physicist, so we ought to listen to him.
Yeah.
physicist.
He's a plasma physicist, so we shouldn't expect him to know anything about evolution.
He doesn't
Okay.
know it.
How is a land animal becoming fully aquatic not a transitional form? Like
Okay, let's-
the
let's-
intermediates. Okay,
yeah, is that what he
let's listen
said?
to it. That is
I'm
what
gonna
he
listen
said.
to it again.
Ways that I can do that. There's several different transitional forms that I can point you to. The whale being
Huh?
one.
Nope. Whale's a mammal.
Duh.
It shows things walking on the earth that went back into the water, if anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
point.
That went back into.
What?
Wait, so
Forms that were walking on the earth went
Those-
back into the water, if anything.
How stupid do you have to be to say something you think refutes the
wasn't
position
a
that
complete
actually
sentence.
supports the position?
That wasn't
Yeah.
a complete sentence at all.
It only counts as a transition if it's from sea to land, right? There's no transition that's from land to sea. It doesn't count.
No, he is saying that we started in the water, then we went on land, and then we went back to the sea. If
But
that
that's
makes
not a mammal.
We came all the way back around.
sense. Yeah.
Full
What
circle.
goes around comes around. What goes up must come down.
That's an old school song right there.
Yeah, it is. Was that Beyonce? That was either Beyonce or Mariah Carey. I think it was Beyonce.
There are so
That's
many things
old.
wrong here that we probably don't even need to play anymore of this clip.
Well, I'm
Okay.
curious what other non-transitional forms don't count.
Well, let's continue here because there's an important point. I think that this illustrates.
It's crazy. Sorry.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is literally crazy.
Literally.
Very famous here on this channel for having a massive dong, right? But I can prove how your particular
A dork?
position is just wrong in
Got a
so
big
many
old dork.
ways.
But
But that
that's
doesn't
not
mean that I
proof.
have to provide support for whatever position I take, other than you're wrong.
That's called an assertion fallacy. He's saying that his assertion of what his beliefs are, his dogma, proves you wrong by just saying it, by asserting it.
Something tells me that Joel doesn't understand what the word dogma means.
Nope.
And it's not called an assertion, Faustin. It's called a proof by repeated assertion. Jesus Christ, I keep spitting pieces of pork all over my laptop. It's called proof by repeated assertion. It's essentially where somebody consistently reiterates the same thing over and over again to try to make it true, kind of like what all these creationists do.
Like Nephilim Free did last night or a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
When we talked to him, he was actually really chill. I was very surprised.
Nephilim is kind of dumb, but easy to get along with.
Yeah.
I heard something, but his wife died or some craziness like
Yeah,
that.
his wife just died recently. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was recently. I think it was a few years ago, but
No, it was about 6 months ago.
I think it was
yeah.
energy gap because he told me about this like a year ago. I
It
might
was
be
very-
wrong.
No, it was
I might be
recent.
thinking of something else.
Yeah, you think it was something else. It was very recent. But anyway, okay, so
Oh well,
There
Nephilim
is-
Free is here. No, wait, no. Yeah, he is. Maybe
There
he can
is-
tell. I don't know. Nephilim,
there
how
is-
long has it been? If you feel like sharing.
there is plenty of evidence, basically, that of transitional forms between mammals and whales. Hang on a second.
Somebody
Go
just
ahead
knock
and
on your door.
discuss.
This,
The moment I speak of Nephilim Free, he shows up.
he is. I don't know if he lurks these streams or it's like an actual thing where if you say his name 3 times, he'll appear in the chat. That's what happened last time as well.
That's true.
No, he, like I said, it was a good conversation with him last time.
No,
yeah, his-
Nephilim, I'm saying that because you didn't know what an isotope was. You didn't know what was some other basic things that you didn't know in science. There was another one. I can't remember. It was isotope was one. You didn't know what an isotope was. Oh, I can't remember the other fucking word I asked him about. It's like middle school fucking science, and he didn't know
An
what that is.
isotope?
Hey, Nephilim, what is a
Nephilim
function
is
of a
getting
variable?
salty.
What?
Oh, poor Nephilim. Kind of dumb, eh? Really, you have to go there because you can't refute someone. Nephilim, the thing is, when you don't know like the basics of the thing you're trying to refute, it's really hard. Like really, really hard to have a conversation about like whose particular worldview or methodology is correct.
Let me just prove my point here. So, Nephilim, inform us. What is an isotope?
Come on, Nephilim, you got Google at your hands.
The link's in the chat.
Because I can describe what an isotope is in one sentence.
Hey guys, I need to take a few minutes to deal with something.
Okay, yeah.
Take
Okay,
your
go
time.
ahead.
Oh, can't pay
Okay.
for the pizza, and he's got it. Oh, okay, I see what
No,
he's
he's
got.
gonna come back with raccoon roast for us all.
Hey, like I said, I've had raccoon.
Some rakin roast. Nobody knows what show I'm quoting.
Raccoon.
None of you. If I said Sam Squanch, you guys still wouldn't know what.
Did
what show
Nephilim
I
just
was
listen? Did Nephilim really like just not hear what I just said?
I just asked him,
Define-
what's an isotope?
It's
He
like
won't
you can't
define
win
it because he
with
doesn't know.
Nephilim,
Look it up. I don't
you
think.
can't-
I don't know. I think the just asking definitions isn't gonna do too much because you can just look stuff up. How about
Well,
like?
apparently not.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And if
Nephilim,
you
I
debate him,
just said
you'll
that
lose.
I can't refute somebody who doesn't know like what the basic terms are that define like the course of discussion in terms of trying to determine whether or not my worldview is correct or your worldview is correct.
Well, once again, I think that's also a pretty universal problem with creationists. The ones that do know the words just throw around the words and don't know what they mean.
Running from the argument by tossing terms and claiming someone is dumb, lame. Well, Nephilim, here's the thing. If we're going to have a real scientific talk, it's kind of good to use the actual scientific terms that concern that topic because it avoids confusion and it allows people that might be criticizing us in the future or during that conversation to know what the hell we're talking about. And it keeps us honest with each other. So I don't really see too big of an issue with that. But again, I'm not the one who's anti-scientific. I don't have an aversion to using like real scientific terms and actually representing the science fairly.
You see, us people being like actually potentially involved in science, we actually have to use stuff correctly. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a
it's kind of
bit of a higher stake. We can't just like say genetic entropy and You know, even though it has nothing to do with like actual entropy. It
At
just
all.
it's a
You know what
buzzword.
an SNP is?
Yeah, it's a
A
single
SNP?
nucleotide polymorphism. Oh my god, I found that on Google because I didn't know what it is, but he can't
Yeah,
do that
yeah,
with the word isotope.
A SNP kind of defines itself
Yeah.
because a single nucleotide polymorphism is a polymorphism of a single nucleotide.
Do you? Oh my
So-
god.
It was like yesterday when we were talking about square integrable functions. They're kind of self-defining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this really isn't difficult, Nephilim. It's kind of like if you pay attention to the name of the thing, you'll kind of get a grasp for what the term is talking about. If you don't know what a polymorphism is, why are you referencing single nucleotide polymorphism?
Wait, did he reference SNPs?
Because the question you're essentially asking by asking what is a single nucleotide polymorphism is the same as asking the question what is a polymorphism.
No, he didn't say what is a single nucleotide polymorphism. He said what is a single nucleotide polymorph. It's a difference.
Big difference.
Boom, owned. You just got pwned, immutable. Just got pwned.
Oh shit!
Immutable
So
so
because
hurt.
I
now.
used
Oh,
the
no.
wrong tense of the verb, I'm just stupid.
No, I was joking. Single nucleotide polymorphs aren't a thing. That was
Oh man, this is funny. This is really funny. So how about it, Nephilim? What is a square integrable function?
What is a
You know
square
what?
integrable function, and how many exist?
Let's start even more basic. Nephilim, what is a dot product? How do you take one?
Nephilim.
But does that count as a question? Once again, that's a self-explanatory name.
I know.
Like,
I'm trying to be as
Yet
simple
is
as
a
I can.
hyperfocal distance. I don't know what yet is. I know what what is, but I'm not sure what a hyperfocal distance is.
I know it deals with like photography because I know he's a photographer.
If I had to
Hyperfocal
guess-
distance. Yeah, go ahead because you'll probably think
I would guess it
better
has
than I
to
will.
deal like something in the field like with optics.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a-
Oh, you
It's
know,
a photography term.
in optics and photography, hyperfocal distance is a distance beyond which all objects can be brought into an acceptable focus.
I think the biggest difference there between not knowing hyperfocal distance and not knowing what like a SNP is or something is that we're not trying to overturn all of like the conventional science of optics, right?
Yeah, Nephilim,
I've never tried to educate anyone on optics before.
So, can't repeat my arguments, eh? What argument? Nephilim?
Yeah, I was just about to
what
say,
argument?
what arguments?
Which argument did you bring up? Because you've asked me like 3 different things. You've asked me what an SNP is, and you've asked me like what a hyperfocal distance or whatever the fuck it was is. Yeah, hyperfocal distance.
What is he trying to argue? Like, honestly,
I don't know. I think he's trying to
I
argue
think
that
what he's doing is he's not like making fun of y'all, but saying like, you know, just asking me to define these specific words isn't really an argument. I think he's like trying to play off that.
But that's not the point, right? The point of having you define certain terms is to make sure that when we're discussing something, that you have like basic knowledge to approach that conversation.
Yeah.
Like me asking you like to define like an isotope if we're discussing like radiometric dating would be kind of like asking somebody, do you know what an electron is? Before I begin trying to explain to you like the model and like Vesper theory.
Nephilim, the thing is, I challenged you to a structured debate on whether or not the universe had a beginning like 5 months ago. You agreed and then backed out. So why would I try to debate you if it's obvious you don't want to debate me? Also, Nephilim, what is the arity of a function?
The what?
The arity. Arity.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
It's the amount of arguments the function takes.
Is that like a logic thing?
No, that's math. I mean, it might be in logic. I don't know. I just know that from.
I would probably call that like the dimension of a function, not the.
Well, that was the technical term that I learned from when I was reading up on like vector calculus and tensor calculus and stuff like that, where your functions tend to have numerous arguments.
Yeah, I've just never heard that term before.
I hadn't heard it before until I read that paper like 2 months ago. Well, it wasn't a paper; it was a PDF of an actual textbook. But
yeah, I don't deny it's an actual thing. It's just like I'm just like, okay, that's kind of an interesting term to.
Yeah, I looked it up just from Wikipedia just to give like the formal definition. Arity is the number of arguments or operands that a function or operation in logic, mathematics, and computer science takes. Mathematics, arity may also be the rank, but this word can have many other meanings in mathematics. In logic and philosophy, it is also called the adicity and degree. In linguistics, it is usually named valency.
I can't think of a term.
A fourth rank tensor would be a tensor with an arity of 4.
Yeah, usually the words like the words rank and order typically apply strictly like to linear algebra.
Yeah.
I can't think of any term like really complex I could use.
Well, you don't need a complex term.
I think I only know political terms, and I feel like I don't know. Like Marxism. I don't know. Does he know what Marxism is? I don't know.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Baptist evangelical conservative, so his understanding of politics is probably as strong as his understanding of science.
Which is strong.
So
super strong.
Philosophical materialism has been disproved, kids. When did I claim I was a materialist?
When you said you were atheist. That's what every creationist believes.
Oh, man, it must be nice, like, to assume people's positions, because I can just assume that all theists are dualists, and that makes them poopy heads and stupid. Right? I mean, I can play this game too.
Well, it's not our stream, so when Speed gets back, we can defer to him, and I'm sure he'll have no problem letting you in.
It took him a long time to kick those raccoons.
Yeah, he's probably getting destroyed by a feral population of rabid raccoons right now.
There's 20 of them just crawling all over him.
Have you? Okay, there's a picture that he sent me of his like raccoon herd. I don't know what is a group of raccoons.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he sent us a picture to like a group chat of all of his raccoons. He has like 20 raccoons. It's actually crazy. They're very cute. But they could turn on him pretty fast. And they could definitely take over his house.
A group of raccoons is known as a nursery.
A nursery.
A nursery.
I'm going to say this much, Nephilim. By the way, you might not want to assume like what all atheists believe, because we share we have very versatile beliefs. Because some of us have studied philosophy to a degree to understand like the difference between materialism and physicalism and naturalism. And it might surprise you to know that not all atheists are the same. And not all theists are the same. I don't think you would like it if I said you were the same as like some very extremely liberal Christian, because you're obviously not. So let's share common courtesy and not presume
or Catholic
what our opponents' worldviews are, shall we?
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything about philosophy. I'm just a science guy. I think science is cool.
I actually got into philosophy because I took an introductory philosophy class.
Well, you see, I'm avoiding that because I want to do as little writing as possible.
It depends on the professor. You might not have.
Dude, I had to take like intro college writing or whatever, and outside of that class, I've written a total of 3 essays.
Really?
Yeah, in 2 semesters. So
Jeez, I mean,
I'm gonna.
I would say like writing scientific reports are just as bad as like writing an essay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, okay. So I take that back now that I think about it, because I had to write. Dr. Dan knows about this because we've talked about this, but I was part of like the C phages project, if any of y'all are familiar with that. So I discovered a phage, and we had to do like an actual like write up on it, like a 12-page report that was formatted like a scientific paper. So that was probably the longest paper I've written outside of like the one essay class that they made us take to standardized writing. Other than that, I had I had like 1 or 2 essays for acting, and I've had 1 essay so far for archaeological hoaxes and fantasies, and none of them have
Let me
been
in
that
the
bad.
stream and I will explain your error. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take correction from the same guy who developed the lunar bukkake theory.
I'm really considering continuing to grill Nephilim on random terms from random things that he does that I know he does. Like, so for Nephilim, what is a stay bolt?
As a matter of fact, since we're asking more math questions, what is a functional? What is a functional?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because that's actually something that's rather technical, and it's not the.
I only know that because I'm doing linear algebra right now. So.
I haven't taken that yet.
Trust me, linear algebra is probably like one of the more easy courses you can take in terms of
It's math.
Yeah,
I've only taken through Cal 2. I'm gonna have to take biostatistics at some point, and I've taken like normal statistics, introductory statistics, but I don't think I'm gonna have to take like, matrix calculus or anything like that.
Yeah,
or matrix
usually.
algebra.
Actually, I think the only time you really use like calculus and not calculus, but like matrices and calculus is when you deal with like Calc 3.
Yeah.
Where you need to calculate like the Jacobian, which is essentially it's a way of like normalizing the differential when you try to change the order of integration or when you try to change reference frame.
Okay.
Change coordinates.
Yeah. Wait, so Mr. Parker, what is your background? Are you currently working on like a bachelor's or something? Or?
High school right now.
Okay. That's cool.
But I don't know the functions. Like, I'm in pre-cal right now, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you should be familiar with like what the notion of a function is.
Yes, I know what a function is. It's just yours are like this and that. I don't like
functional is a little bit. Functional is really just a linear map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that spits out more functions as a result.
I think specifically it's mapping vectors in a vector space to a field of scalars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also taking physics, so I'm introduced to vectors and.
Are you doing calculus-based physics or algebra-based physics?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound like really bad on my part, but it's true. If you're not learning calculus-based physics, you're not learning physics.
Yeah, that's true. I did algebra-based physics in high school, just because it's just regular
algebra-based physics is not really generally referred to as physics. It's more called physical science.
Yeah, well, it was honors physics at my school, but yeah, and so I took calculus-based physics when I got here, and it's actually like it makes so much more sense. I mean, there were certain things that I realized that I wasn't allowed to use whenever I was in algebra-based physics. Whenever, like you can find the force as like the integral of the acceleration, right?
Work.
Yeah, integral of work, and then like acceleration is the integral of velocity and all that other stuff. And we had to do like the approximations just from like, averaging the variables and stuff like that. We were supposed to do that in algebraic physics. But I realized that, and it helped a lot. It just made things so much easier to visualize. But whenever I got to like actual calculus-based physics, it was completely like game-changing. I don't think much physics makes sense without calculus.
Well, the thing is, right, and here's why I think algebra-based physics is just really stupid. Calculus exists for a reason. Like, it exists because you can solve a lot more problems like very quickly with calculus than just using like pure algebra.
Well, the one thing that needs to be mentioned here is that physics literally wouldn't have been invented if not for calculus. Newton invented modern physics. He could not have done that if he hadn't first developed calculus.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, like with calculus, and once you realize this, you're set, is that calculus revolves around one notion and one notion only. And that is the notion of limits.
Yeah, that as well.
Which is a very precise idea, but it's a very powerful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's responsible for bringing out the derivative and its the derivative and the integral, sometimes called an antiderivative.
Are you guys following Dr. Dan?
Yeah, I've been reading it in the chat.
Yeah.
I've just been waiting for him to get through all of it.
Wants to come into the stream because apparently he doesn't think that
educate us on I don't know what he
Oh,
thinks
boy.
he's going to educate any of us on.
I can use my beautiful narrator voice to just read Dr. Dan's explanation of heritability first, and then we can get Nephilim in if y'all want.
Nephilim's going to say Meshamol for us.
Meshamol?
Meshamol. I love when he says Meshamol. It's Methancamol. Nephilim. Methancamol.
Mesenchymal?
Methancamol.
But anyways, so heritability has three main variables. H for heritability. There are different types of H, but whatever, doesn't matter for right now. S, selection differential. Difference between trait mean of a population and trait mean of a reproducing population. Or of the reproducing population. So like if a population of lizards averages 0.1 kilograms, but the average lizard that reproduces is 0.12, then S, the selection differential, is 0.02. Oh, actually, that makes a lot of sense. We haven't gotten to like evolutionary biology yet. Then R, the response selection. So in this lizard population, if the next generation's average weight is 0.11 kilograms, then R equals 0.01 kilograms. Heritability is just R over S. So in which case, R equals 0.01 and S equals 0.02. H is what? 0.01. Oh, it's just 0.5. So weight for that lizard is 50% heritable. Interesting. So I'm assuming that's more or less what he was talking about for the heritability of like homosexuality and stuff like that. I think maybe I don't remember where that came up.
Yeah, Neph is just copying and pasting now. It's really funny.
I can get him in the chat. Speed, you're back, right? Maybe not. I can hear him. Or he's putting up banners and stuff.
Yeah, I thought he was here.
My son is not feeling well, so I may have to disappear suddenly. So,
well,
Isn't your son grown?
yes, he is, but he's not
So once
feeling
you're a
well.
father, you're always
not-
a father.
He's not feeling well in a kind of a dangerous way. So,
Oh,
Okay.
so
if you-
it's what is Nephilim giving us some kind of a fucking test here? What the-
I'm really
Neph, I don't think
Yeah,
they're
it was-
biology here, to be fair.
Yeah, so Nephilim completely missed the point of like why the whole kind of like pissing contest became a thing. It's because when like Leo or I want to talk to you about like radiometric dating and you don't understand
what an isotope is.
what an isotope is, which is basically the fundamentals for even having a conversation, it makes you seem retarded. And it's not just seeming, it's glaringly. Like it's like trying to challenge a boxer without even having the gloves or the proper material. Like,
Well, that is only to people like us. But to his peers, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
What is
That
an
ain't true.
erogenous zone? Do you mean erogenous zone? Nephilim, have you even ever touched an erogenous zone? Probably not.
let's hope not.
How many are on the female body? That's the question. I believe it's 21. Or is it 25? I can't remember. I only know about 6 of them because those are the most important ones.
I don't.
An erogenous zone is an area you
Oh.
can touch on the human body that will generally sexually stimulate a human, like the ears, the scalp, the inner thigh, obviously the genitalia, the butt,
Yeah,
the lower
toes.
back, the small of the back, shoulder blades, the neck.
Interesting. Huh. You learn something new every day. I didn't
I'm
know.
surprised the asshole isn't considered one of those things.
No, the ass is. The butt cheek.
what is Stalinism?
Anyways,
That got interesting, but okay.
Yeah, where did Mr. Parker? Oh, Mr. Parker's still here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trolling
he's
that.
gonna like that.
Yeah, he's trolling Neph.
Or like in the stream
He's
chat.
trolling Neph.
Apparently, Neph didn't understand that I was trolling him when he said orogeny. I was like, "What do you mean erogenous?" I knew that's not what he meant, but he
Yeah.
obviously didn't get that. I knew that what he meant, and it was trolling. Yeah.
It's too complex.
So
for my
Neph,
joke.
after this stream, actually tomorrow morning, Nephilim, I will send James an email letting him know that you're interested in debating me on the one subject I've been wanting to debate somebody on since my first debate on MDD. So hopefully you're balls enough to message him and confirm that we're both interested in having a debate.
I just have one question for Nephilim. Are you drunk? It's hard for me to believe, like, and this is genuinely, like, not meant as an insult. It's hard for me to believe, like, that someone is genuinely this stupid while being sober.
Okay, good night, Dr. Dan.
Have you ever met, like, Ken Ham or Ray Comfort or...
Have you met them?
Kent Hovind.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, or Kent Hope.
Or Standing for Truth, or Logical, Plausible Problem.
Illogical,
Little
implausible.
PP?
Beta Wolf.
Little PP?
Mad Duck Ox.
Yeah, LPP for Little PP.
Little
Mad,
PP?
Mad Bollocks. Mad Cojones.
Lil PP.
I still don't get that analogy about you finding a cell phone or you picking up a piece of rock and it has a language. I still
that whole, like, if you find a watch, it had to have a watchmaker.
Yeah,
I don't get that. Doesn't make any sense to me.
So
That was
the premise. In what other context would you believe?
who was the one who formulated that argument? That's like an old apologetics tactic.
Aquinas, I believe.
What, the watchmaker?
Yeah.
Aquinas, I believe, is responsible for that argument.
I've often recharacterized it as the steam locomotive argument. That, a steam locomotive has all these different parts and they all have to move in unison. Oh, we all know the steam locomotive is designed by humans, and I'm just, it's just like,
No, it's
okay,
like saying,
Where's the God though? How you add God in there? Like, I don't get that part.
When we see that things are created by agents, we don't assume that, like, some guy from fucking Mars did it. We know that if it was an agent, it was a human.
Yes, and I think that's obvious. I don't know why they don't see the same thing as well too. Because he was only making stuff the humans make it.
the phone that says made in China is surely not made in China. This is what someone said. I saw it a couple days, and it's like,
Are we gonna do anything with this video or not?
yeah.
we could try, yeah.
Video
We could try again.
I haven't seen Leo. You might still be eating pork for all we know.
What about I am actually?
Okay, but if you start licking those pork bits off your lap, please shut your camera off first.
No. What the fuck?
Okay.
There's only one lap I would ever lick anything off of.
Oh,
Nope.
let's see.
Oh my God! What did I do? What did I do?
I didn't say any names.
I'm
What's
fucking
going on?
tempted.
I just made a statement. There's no names. There was nothing.
Stop.
Yeah, actually, Nephilim Speed has a thing where
Is it the
on
actor?
Saturday night at
or
the
is it the
Atheist, we don't let. What?
Atheists only.
No, I didn't hear the question that was asked to me.
Is it the actor, or is it
Yes.
Daenerys? Who is it?
Daenerys? What about her? I mean,
I'm
that's
saying,
just a
who's
fictional
like
character.
Daenerys Targaryen, or is it the actor himself, Emilia?
What a- Wait, I don't understand the context.
He's asking about the lap that you were talking about.
Yeah,
I'm not
is it
going to-
Daenerys?
I'm not
She
going to
acted.
comment. I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Otangelo.
Should I play the clip?
Yeah, go for it.
Great.
I'm gonna try.
What he presented at this moment is precisely what you said now, a religious dogma, namely that evolution is true. And he thought that he did it in half a minute, just by making that assertion.
Yeah, there's tremendous controversy on things like the whale transitional issues, and there's no actual empirical evidence that whales either came from water and the land and back, or any direction. There's no actual repeatable real-time evidence that was required.
Do you want a time lapse?
Method, but it's his dogma.
I'm sorry.
to say
Every
it.
time Joel
Foreskin.
talks, I just fucking laugh.
Foreskin. Are you fucking kidding me? Like the history history of whales, like how they came to be whales, like is one of the most complete like lineages in the fossil record.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, ours is a little bit better.
Night, Dan.
Okay, if you're Dr. Dan, we should talk about some of these things and standing for truth, like in private.
Hey, Speed, I have a question.
Which one?
You remember how you said that you were you gonna have R and Raw on your channel in September? Well, tomorrow's the 28th.
Oh shit! I didn't invite him. I forgot to invite him. Demeter wanted him on, and I never. So I've got to talk to Demeter about this. Remind me tomorrow, please.
I will.
Hey,
By
Jay?
the way, hold on here, because Nephilim made a comment. He said, "Speed, are you and your friends afraid of debating in your live stream? We theists encourage atheists to come into ours. This isn't the Saturday night at the Atheist is not for debates, and it's not
Nephilim,
for theists.
I
It's
would
not an
have
open
to.
room.
Yeah.
Exactly. We would have to set something up where Nephilim can come in and talk with one or more of us separately. It's not that we're afraid. It's just that this particular platform, Saturday night at the Atheist, is not for that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair.
The other night, if you wanted to talk about evolution stuff, that would have been fine there.
Fair. It would not be fair to you, Nephilim, because this is where we laugh at you guys, and this wouldn't be fair to you. And I like you, so this is sort of a room for atheists. So
Nephilim's like that teddy bear that you have in the corner of your room. It doesn't know shit about dick, but you like it. It's it's soft.
Yours have a picture of Amelia.
What?
Nothing.
I don't actually. If I can show you my screen, I can show you what my background looks like on my
Yeah,
laptop.
I seen it. I think I seen your.
On my laptop? No.
Oh wait, no, I seen the one on your old phone.
The one that I smashed.
Yes.
Oh fuck, Brenda's here. Awesome. Ooh, hoo, hoo. God, I love Brenda so much. She's just so fucking brilliant.
Yes, Brenda. You did so good in the debate.
You did phenomenal in the debate.
Yep, it was cool.
Yeah, good job.
Let's see if I can put I think where the hell is it? I know if I do this, I know I'm gonna end up collecting something in the back room that I don't want. But I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, do it.
Wait a minute, what the hell just happened? Did I there it is. Okay.
God, you fucking boomer.
Brenda, I just put the link in the chat. But
for anyone except Neph.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're the cool kids.
Cool
Can't
kids.
sit with us.
No, we just don't want to. We don't want to hurt anybody, and it's like you could get hurt in here. It's not a fun place. Brenda, hello,
Hola.
welcome.
Hello.
Howdy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good night.
I'm fine. I'm kind of taking a break. I've been following a very detailed mod of Fallout New Vegas.
Oh. What's the mod? Like
it's do you know who Gopher is?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No, the only modded game I've ever really played is Skyrim.
Yeah, he has 7 videos on how to mod it, and I've been following that. So I'm sort of taking a break.
Wait, so are you making your own mod?
I don't make my own mods. No, he shows you how to
okay.
how to mod it.
Speed.
So I heard that Nephilim was asking to come in.
Yeah, we can't let.
Yeah, that's fine. I destroyed him on Godless Girl's channel on Evolution. Absolutely destroyed him.
You got to link that.
When was that?
I want to see that.
Probably over a month ago.
Okay.
Not really a fan of Godless Girl, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
She's kind of out there. I agree with her on some things, but
she a lot of that is an act. She
does
that for not entirely an act. She really wants attention.
I didn't like her until I saw her pass out on during a modern day debate, and
I
then,
remember that.
and then vape in her sleep, and
my
then wake up,
Yeah,
and
was
wake
that
up and
bad.
fucking hilarious.
no, there's more. She woke up and she totally fucking destroyed the opposition just out of the blue.
Wait, was
And
she
I'm
the
like,
one?
shit, I love this girl.
She's the one with like T-Jump?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she was like
great,
a
John.
music analyst or whatever.
And she's laying back and vaping in her sleep, and I was like,
God.
and then she wakes up and she like says something perfectly coherent, and it was like, what the fuck?
She like left the stream early to go to the gas station and get something.
Yes, she went to go get some snacks or something, or cigarettes.
She's just
She left
Throwing fat
Hey.
clowns into the
yeah. I became an immediate lifelong fan after that. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, Godless Girl is a very
Oh, there it is. Nephilim 3 versus Brenda, and I am gonna pause that and save it for later. Speed. Why the fuck am I at the bottom of the queue?
Oh God,
Because
we're
you're a bottom bitch.
You fuck. You know what? I am the bottom bitch. You know what a bottom bitch is, right? That's your main bitch, and I am the bottom bitch. Right? I am Speed's bottom
I
bitch.
can't tell.
we're afraid you're gonna start licking those pork bits off your lap.
Shut
You don't
the
want to see
fuck
that
up.
shit.
Shut the
Leo, this is like a bus. You know why
yes,
You know
yes,
what?
I am.
I'm trying to get you to go up, but it won't let you go up.
Then take the comment down.
Yeah.
It's fighting me. It's fighting me, Leo. It doesn't want you up there.
Okay, now I'm at the bottom. This
Dude,
is
no, it's fucked up because I was in Mama Atheist stream that she was doing with Godless Engineer earlier this evening, and Matt Pig was trying to make me a mod, and he said it won't let me make you a mod. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I was like, yeah, that's bad.
take the pin message off.
Say,
So,
Brenda,
yeah.
we went over part of that debate, I think yesterday or the day before.
Oh,
and
okay.
Stop
we
eating
didn't-
pork.
Yeah, we didn't get very far because I was trying to find a valid argument that Maddox made, and I couldn't find it.
Not even a valid argument, just a coherent argument.
Coherent, anything, you know.
I think some people made a valid criticism of me that I followed John Maddox down every rabbit hole, and that's probably true. I should have stayed with the thing. My position is that because it's a positive position that because theists have failed their duty to provide evidence for a God, I have a justification for rejecting God until and unless they can provide evidence for one.
Yep.
Perfect.
Gotta run. I would have to run into it in the backwoods in order to start believing.
It's like if I tell you that I have a vacuum cleaner in my closet, and then we open up the closet and we examine every crack, crevice, and corner in it, and we don't find a vacuum. But then you just start saying, "Oh, but it's a special vacuum. It's invisible. You can't see it."
Yeah,
At that point, you've already lost.
Right. The null hypothesis is that there is no vacuum in
right.
Yep. Right. So that's the null, and that we're justified in assuming the null hypothesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you overstated the neuroscience of knowing what you're dreaming about a little bit.
Know.
But
I know, but I
you were
was
right.
desperate.
You were right about that paper because I printed that paper out and I looked at it, and they did indeed figure out what these people were dreaming based on what was in their visual cortex. So,
and it's only going to get better.
Yeah. Definitely.
If it isn't already. I mean, that paper was from 2013. That was 7 years ago.
Other than that, you and Amy just handled that debate really well. I just loved it. Yeah.
And so if you look at the one between me and Nephilim Free on Godless Girl's channel, basically that was, I hammered him on his misunderstanding of information. And in physics, information is understood differently than it is in communications. It's not the same, right? So when you cut open a tree, the rings inside the tree, that's information. And it's real. It's there. It's not like a communication from a God. Tree rings are not communications from God. They're just created by natural physical processes.
Exactly.
Well, these guys in this video we're watching with Otangelo, how did they say it? They said, okay, there's no evidence of the whale basically land animal to whale transition, which is bullshit because there's plenty of evidence.
No, that wasn't even what I heard. I just heard that they said it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Yeah.
They said there's evidence. It's just they're going from sea to land, so it doesn't, or from land to sea, so they're just returning to water. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Whale evolution is some of the best evolution we've got for transitional forms.
Yeah.
It's
in horses.
Very good.
Yeah. And also reptile to mammal transition.
I would also say humans is another pretty good one as well.
Well, yeah, humans have, in my opinion,
let me
by far
rephrase that. Apes, because humans are still apes.
Well, the transition to humans.
I ain't no ape, you godless heretic.
But the transition to humans is probably the best understood like evolutionary transition in the world because we study ourselves, more than anything else. It's just that's kind of a hard one to lead with when you're going against creationists because, I mean, if you can't get them to accept that like cetaceans are related to artiodactyls. If you can't say that like whales are related to artiodactyls, then you're definitely not going to say that like humans are related to apes, living apes.
The things about cephalopods, octopi and cuttlefish and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in a debate you could make the case that they're fucking aliens.
Oh Lord. Let's not mention the David Abel paper, which said that
they've got their arms make decisions.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, you want to see something else that's weird. I mean, but also impressive. I mean, tardigrades. God, fuck, they are. Yes. But they live forever, basically. I mean,
and you can't fucking destroy them. Like
life is pretty crazy. Honestly, humans are like C-tier life compared to some of the extremophiles out there.
They're like C-tier life compared to
us.
Which is evidence that humans are a relatively young species.
Well, I mean, but also we're not evolving to live on hydrothermal vents or anything. Like that's not our ideal ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Something that's going to really impact religions on Earth is if we go to Venus and if we have a machine, something that goes down in there, scoops up some bacteria, and we bring them back, and if their DNA is a lot different from ours, religions people are going to freak out.
Oh yeah, I still believe that there is microbial life under the surface of Mars.
There's various evidence for that.
Yeah, I would say that it's and the whole thing with Venus is actually that the surface of Venus is something like 500 degrees Fahrenheit. It's something stupid, huh?
Yeah, it's like 500 to 700 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. They think that if there's microbial life anywhere, it's living in the upper atmosphere where it's
the upper atmosphere where it's about. They said I think they can
50 to 80, I believe.
Yeah, 50
yeah. But what was Venus 2 billion years ago?
About the same. You see, Mars if we were to go back about 4 billion years and look at Earth from like someplace else, we would see Earth, and then way further away, you wouldn't see a red planet. You would see a planet that looked kind of like Earth, but smaller. We know for a fact that Mars had water, had an ocean on it.
Yeah, well, it still has ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has ice buried deep within it.
Pretty salty ice.
And there's evidence that there is still potential volcanic activity happening on Mars underneath the surface right now.
Well, we know that there's volcanic activity happening there. I mean, one of the most cited pieces of evidence, like for the potential of life existing on Mars, is that it might have had a oh Jesus.
I think Venus is a good possibility.
They found like these particles called magnetosomes on the surface of Mars, which are responsible for essentially, in our planet at least, certain bacteria produce them, and they're responsible like for the maintaining of the magnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the life like case for Mars is very speculative. Although on Venus, actually, the paper came out a few weeks ago that said that there might be
phosphine.
Yeah, that because of the detection of phosphine, which is a molecule that
We only know
As far
life
as
to
we
make.
know,
Well,
like,
we
the-
do know that chemical
micro-
processes on both Jupiter and Saturn can make it, but that's because of the structure of their atmosphere that Venus does not have, which
Yeah.
brings to question the only other thing we know that produces that is life. And Venus does not have the atmospheric structure to produce it like Saturn and Jupiter do. So then, where's the phosphine coming from? Now, I'm honestly going to say that it's probably
this is
not
cool.
life, but it could be.
The creationists are going to argue that the phosphine was created by natural processes, random chemical processes, right?
Well, I mean, that's also what I subscribe to. I don't
That
think
would-
they're doing life.
That would be interesting to see them do that in an actual debate.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and the thing is,
Wait a minute.
I would be very surprised if there's life on Venus or Mars or really anywhere in our solar system.
No, but I
I'd
don't
be
know.
surprised if there
I
is.
would
Venus may not have been that hot.
The odds are not good, but
I would actually be very, very comfortable saying that life might exist on either
Like Europa?
Titan, Encephalus.
Titan, Europa, Enceladus, Io.
Yeah.
I still would say that if we're going to find life somewhere else in the solar system, it's going to be on Mars, under the surface.
I'd say
No,
I would
I-
not,
Venus
I
is a
would
really
not be
good one.
surprised. That wouldn't surprise me at all. If we said we have found, like, because I think that what would happen is we wouldn't say yes, we found life. What we would say is we have found something that is a very, very good signature of life, like better than phosphine on Venus, on Mars. I just would not be. I wouldn't be surprised to find life somewhere else in the solar system because of how calm our solar system is and how many different places. But I also think that life, once humans, if we ever do discover life beyond Earth, and this is something I've always said, we're going to
On Earth.
drastically broaden our definition of what life is.
Yeah.
no, I'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Go
Sure,
ahead.
go ahead.
I don't know if you've talked about it already, but I had Praise That I Am bookmarked, and I went there, and his channel is gone.
Oh my god! Yeah, we
we
talking
just talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
We're thinking there's
Although
probably
I think his channel's back now.
it's probably been striked, and
I'm on a Canadian server, and I do see us.
Yeah.
I'm on a Midwestern.
I'm on American server, and Nathan linked us. And when we tried to use the link, it was 404 error, not
Yeah.
error.
I have a link right here. I'll put it in the live chat. He
But
might
I
have
do
just
see it
changed
though.
the URL.
Well, it might have been because of the debate review we did with Manny. We had a gay
I
guy
saw
from
that.
Israel.
Still
Yeah, okay.
404 not found.
Yeah.
Really? That doesn't work for me?
I
It works for me.
I mean, how arrogant do you have to be to tell a native speaker of
You did see it.
you know
No, hey,
better than he does?
hold up. Who just retracted Otangelo Grasso's comment? I was trying to fucking read that.
No, that's what I can get.
Well, I'll tell you this: Praise I Am. He has
I
a
didn't
video
retract
that's about.
I guess he deleted it.
Oh,
It's about the stream at 11:05 p.m. So his channel is still up. Maybe he blocked everyone else. I don't know.
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm okay, but
Otangelo, you need to post the math for that from now on. You need to actually post the math from now on. You
Yeah.
can't
make any
word
sense.
you copied and pasted from somewhere. You need to do the math to show us that you understand the concepts. Show us that you understand Maxwell's equations.
I don't think
Yeah.
that he even understands the calculus underlying it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody who's not a professional physicist but understands physics quite well, I still don't. I understand the gauge field theoretical description of quantum electrodynamics better than I understand Maxwell's equations defining it.
Have you taken first year calc?
I've everything I know about calculus I've taught on myself. So I know calculus, multivariate calculus, like tensor calculus and vector calculus, and I'm currently learning linear algebra.
Yeah, you can probably get the differentiate the simple. How about y equals x squared? Otangelo, tell us
Y equals x squared would be
differentiate y equals x squared.
wouldn't that just be 2x?
Yeah.
No, it's just 2x, I
You
believe.
just told him though.
I'll do something a little bit simpler for
No,
him.
he won't. He wouldn't know that otherwise. He doesn't.
Actually, Brenda, I'll go one simpler for him. Let y equal sine x. What is the derivative of that function?
Y equals what x?
Sine of x.
Oh, okay.
Hush, 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 hush.
So, you see Ian's comment? So what the hell was Otangelo saying here?
He retracted his own message, apparently.
Yeah.
No, but it's on the screen.
But it takes a special. I mean, that is like Dunning-Kruger poster child territory, where you tell a native speaker of Hebrew that you know his language better than him, and you know the meaning of a word specific to his culture that he has never even fucking heard of in his entire life.
It gets better, Brenda. He did an after stream, and he was reading an English translation of the text, and the English translation clearly disagreed with him, but somehow he read it as if it agreed with him, and I was like, okay, it fucked my brain up. I mean, just like, how did you get that out of reading this text? Because it clearly said a man who lays with another man, and then it goes on and says something else about a man, and then down a few it says a woman, and he was making the case that when they said a man, they meant man and women, but they specified woman every time they wanted to say woman, and it was like, wait a minute.
That's mouth disconnected from
brain.
Yes,
totally. I mean, what
it just goes has its own, like, he's probably got some nodules near his vocal cords, right, that just take over.
Could be that. That Lewy what is that, Lewy body disease or whatever that you get when you start believing too hard in fundamental Christianity?
I'm not familiar with this. What is this?
I'm bullshitting. Make shit up all the time. You gotta be careful.
By the way, it's important to discuss that when we're talking about like the Maxwell equations, that they take two primary forms. Actually, they take many different forms.
Mr. Parker,
there's more than just Maxwell's equations. Gauss has some equations, and I believe Lorentz even has some equations.
Yeah, there's Lorentz's law, there's Faraday's law. There's a few others.
And I know that a lot of Faraday's mathematics, it does transfer over into the more the quantum field theoretical version. Like I think they're tensor equations, I believe.
Yes, they're
Faraday tensor equations in the Lagrangian density of the standard model.
Yeah,
F mu nu, F mu nu.
Yeah, that's not even second year calc. That's like what the fuck are these?
So what the hell is he saying here, Leo?
I can't figure it out, because what is a separable solution? I don't.
Oh, a separable solution? Well, he might be referring to differential equations there.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was assuming, but I don't know.
What's the point?
Electromagnetic. I don't know.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Neither do I. I can't figure it.
Can't parse
it. Yeah. Tom Jump debated Otangelo, and
I did twice as well.
And of course, he has some famous shows on the Atheist Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, and that's the thing. Like, so I actually communicated like with Otangelo before I even watched the Atheist Experience ones, and it's just the thing is like having interacted with Otangelo, I'm surprised like he was that obnoxious in dealing like with him on the Atheist Experience, because he's a nice guy. I mean, I'll happily, say that like Otangelo is probably one of the smarter people among creationists that I've talked to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far. No.
No, but like I think his biggest issue is sometimes like he won't let people finish, or like he really like is insisting upon like finishing his own tangent or his own claim.
Well,
what are the rules about Saturday Night at the Atheist and saying nice things about Christians?
We're allowed to. Fuck you.
Would you all like to know? Would you all like to know the story of my icon there, the pie?
I am actually kind of interested. Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested now.
Do you know who true empiricism is?
Oh my god!
I don't think I do.
Oh yes.
Oh, this is a trip down memory lane.
I was debating true empiricism and G-Man, and I think,
shit. I feel sorry for you, because G-Man is
spoken on evolution. and true empiricism said, or they were saying that the Bible is a literal word of God. I brought up the what is it? I think it's First Kings where they have the basin that's 30 hands or 30 whatevers around and 10 in diameter, right? That shows that the Bible has pi as 3.0 instead of the correct number. Do you recall that?
Yep.
So I brought that up, and then we got into a debate about pi, and both G-Man and True Empiricism said that it wasn't 3.14 because they what are the units of measurement that they typically use, like from your fingertip to your elbow? What is that again?
Cubit or something? Or
yes,
like inches.
Because they used cubits, it wasn't 3.14.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
True Empiricism doubled down on that.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
This
god!
is when True Empiricism said that DNA was four-digit binary.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, and because they got pi so wrong, I just took pi as my avatar, and it happened to be close to a pi day. What was that? The 3rd of March.
March 14th.
And so March 14th. And so that's basically, I just kind of stuck there, and that's basically it. But I was with Spoken, G-Man, and True Empiricism.
Oh my god!
I'm
looking at his channel.
They're horrible people. They're horrible people. I mean,
I keep up with the whole like drag, or not the drag, through drag. I keep up with like G-Man, Shanny for Christ. Is that the other one? Rev, all that shit. That's
Rev
crazy.
I just want you guys to know that Otangelo is still in the side chat. Why is he not informing us of whatever it was he was trying to say with the electromagnet?
I don't know if he's still in the side chat.
I just tried to tag his name and it pops up, so he's in.
Oh,
come on, Otangelo! I didn't even ask you to take the derivative of an elliptic function, which most people don't know what the fuck that is, but I do.
Yeah, we got to start with the basics. Come on now.
Well, yeah, elliptic functions have are very useful, but have very limited use.
Maybe we could ask Otangelo. Otangelo, what is the Otvos effect?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Otvos, or I think it's OE or EOTVOS effect. And I could be misspelling it. I mean, so sue me, I get it all wrong.
EIEIO? OET? What?
What's it related to?
It's related to. Yeah.
Try to spell it and I'll Google it. Could you try to spell it again? OET?
It's EOTVOS.
Stump the panel, man.
A lot of umlauts.
Oh, lots of umlauts.
This is a test for Otangelo.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't know that was the name for it.
No Otangelo here, no more. He left.
Darn it.
What?
Hold
on.
Oh my god.
How come I can still tag his name?
That looks pretty cool.
It might just be because he chatted once.
You have
another way to get creationists is to ask them what is the opposite of entropy, and it's enthalpy. And I can never pronounce it.
Enthalpy.
Yeah. I can never pronounce these correctly, but it's the opposite, and they're not likely to know that because they just read.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually, like, curiously, when we were talking about information, both enthalpy and entropy can be used as a sort of like indirect measure of information system.
Yeah, they get information completely wrong. I mean, they just take the communications side of it and say, well, then DNA is basically what they're saying is DNA is a message from God. That's basically exactly what they're saying.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what they're saying.
and it depends really like where you're like what you're talking about in terms of like the type of information you want to describe. But if you're talking about physics, usually the types of information like that you're concerned with, and for good reason, are usually things like momentum
We should
or
lost Brenda.
potential energy.
Brenda.
Well,
We lost her to the internet. Oh, she's back. She's back.
yeah,
Wow. What happened?
no clue.
I don't know. Probably Otangelo struck you down.
No,
I've heard Otangelo.
I've heard in other places that people have had connection issues. It's
Yeah, StreamYard.
StreamYard sucks. Yeah, no, I've already dropped out twice.
You need better internet. That's the thing.
One thing about information is you can to stump creationists is basically the exhaust fan on your computer. What the hot air that's coming out of there basically is information. I mean, if you think about it, because your processor is processing information,
Right.
and you. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe I've got the concepts wrong. But somebody can correct me. But I think that the exhaust should be information because it's heat coming from the processor, which is dissipated information from the activity of the processor. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I understand. That.
Entropy. That is the increase in entropy.
It would be akin to the electromagnetic radiation released from a star due to the thermonuclear fusion reactions in its core, which is information. But the electromagnetic radiation is also information about those processes. So yeah, you have a point.
So we have been dealing with information for about 2 weeks on our channel, and I have another video by Demeter that I have to just check over. And the information and meaning and pragmatics and syntax and all of that, and I have a ton of books and information on it here, and a lot of papers, and I want to keep hammering on it.
Yeah,
I think
typically, like in chemistry, I imagine like that the information we're talking about, you could say it's quantum mechanical. Yes, that's fine, but like in the context of biology, it's how those chemicals interact in a geometric fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the type of configurations that are achieved, like when a helicase binds like to a specific region of DNA in order to unwind it, or when a substrate, when a ligand attaches to a molecule in order to be transformed by it.
You know what information is? It's a word that we utter when we are trying to conceive or model complexity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what information is.
Well,
and you got to understand that the definition of information is highly variable, depending on how you look at it.
And I would say that information is something that's abstract, right? It's in science.
Don't fucking get started on abstract versus physical, immutable.
Well,
I'll mute you.
In science, information is something like that we'd have to be able to measure. So you might say it's like the absorbance or the kinetic activity of an enzyme or anything really that can be measured. So I don't know necessarily if like just saying, oh, information. Okay, but there's a lot of different types of information, like in chemistry and physics and in geology, all sorts of stuff. Like
if a cosmic ray changes the sequence in the DNA, like from C to an A, that's not information. That's not new information. That was sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
No, I know.
That's what they say. If you tell them that spontaneous mutations of the DNA code is new information, they deny it.
Yeah, and it is new information.
Use the whole, but it already existed. Well,
it depends on how you. I mean, you can use Shannon information to measure the information in DNA, and it is whether or not it's new information is going to depend on whether or not it becomes more or less ordered. I believe, if I understand Shannon information properly.
This might be a very complicated question. What exactly is Shannon information?
Shannon information is the and I'm too tired to be talking about this, but basically you have I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, let me wake up.
Hey, splash of water.
Grab a cup of coffee, and then we'll have this talk.
Yes, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth if I start talking about it right now, because it just, I mean, you go through it and you read it about 6,000 times and you come away with different things every time. But let me do that in the morning. Immutable.
Okay.
What?
Weather report.
You expect answers.
I know what Kolmogorov information is.
I
Shannon
can never say that. I can never say that.
I can't say it either, but I do anyway.
I'm not an information theorist, so don't ask me about that shit. I don't know.
Kolmogorov complexity is basically the algorithm, the complexity of the algorithm that you need to create something. Like pi, for instance, has low Kolmogorov information, yet it's an entirely random string of digits, which is really weird. I mean, so it has a lot of Shannon information in it, but it has very little Kolmogorov complexity because you can compute pi fairly easily. So it's whatever algorithm you need to create something, like something that's totally random. The only algorithm that you can create it with is to write every single bit down of that random information, right?
Well, so
yeah, totally. That's really complex.
So if I can take a gander at that, I imagine like part of what the complexity of the algorithm might entail is like how many distinct like or unique arithmetic operations like need to be performed like to obtain like the value of pi like within some reasonable like proficiency. So like for instance, there's some ways of calculating pi that involve infinite series, which are just sums. But there's other way, like you can represent it as an infinite fraction or an infinite product, and there's other like mathematical ways that relate pi.
I'm sorry. God exists because the Hilbert Hotel problem just doesn't make any sense to me. My name is William Craig. You know, I just don't understand Hilbert's Hotel, and therefore God exists.
Yes.
To me, like when I first thought of learned about the Hilbert Hotel problem, like the takeaway you're supposed to get it from it is infinity isn't really a number, and just that infinity doesn't behave like other.
Yeah, no, infinity isn't a number; it's a concept.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It behaves unlike other numbers or other mathematical objects.
Exactly. And that's the thing. He always talks about actual infinities, and it's like I don't know anybody that actually understands what they're talking about that says that actual infinites exist. Well, this is not how we understand things to be. That's not how we understand infinity.
Well, there is no like such thing as an actual infinity in terms of like just being one. Like there's different types of infinities, and some infinities are larger than others.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, it's been a while. I think I'm gonna have to get off. I need to get ready for bed.
All right.
Oh, what a wussy.
Sorry, guys. It was nice meeting you, Brenda. It's nice talking.
Yeah.
Bitch made.
Yeah, I think
I had to.
I think we could call it for the night. But Brenda, I'd like to have you on and have a conversation with you.
Oh, okay. I have my email is just bvanasan@gmail.com. I can write it.
Can you stick it somewhere?
You can write it in the private chat if you want.
You can put it in private
because I'd
chat.
like to have it, honestly.
Well, I have to put you on the mailing list.
You need an icon, you know, and we know this guy that's on the chat. He does like icons and all that stuff. You can talk to him. I'll send you an email.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've been doing lately is, you know that I'm older, right? I'm like 62.
Do you have a Twitter?
You all know that, right?
Oh, you're young.
I didn't know. I did not.
I'm an old fuck. I'm an old fuck.
Do you realize that I'm 69?
The best number in the world?
No, I didn't.
No, I'm 69.
Yeah. So here in Minnesota, we have a program where people who are 62 plus can enroll for classes at the University of Minnesota.
Yes.
For $10 a credit. $10 a credit, $40 for a 4-credit course.
Right.
It doesn't apply to a degree, but you can still take it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking Intro to Philosophy because why the hell not?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Are you at the U of M or like Normandale or something like that? Or
It's U of M, but it's all Zoom.
oh yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, if it
Phoenix
works for the
Sound is
pandemic,
also in Minnesota.
Are you in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Oh, so am I. I'm in Bloomington, down by the river.
Shit.
I'm like fucking downtown. I mean,
Oh hell,
I'm in the poor folk.
I suppose we could go for a socially distanced walk and talk.
Hey, I'm only 2.5 hours away from you guys. I live in north central Iowa, so I've even said I do actually want to come up and meet Speed.
Yeah, but you got to drive through all that corn. How are you going to get the fuck?
Dude, I'll just throw some pigs in front of my car. They'll get me there.
And I think we built a wall precisely to keep Iowans out. I think on the southern border. I'm not sure. I heard about a wall. I'm not sure, but you could try.
My parents, my parents are from Iowa. All my relatives used to live in Iowa, northern Iowa.
Can I ask what city or town that would be in or near?
You ever hear of Williamsburg?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Small fucking world, isn't it?
Basically, close to the Amana colonies and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
In fact, my dad said he was offered a chance to join the Amana because they're a commune. Mm-hmm. He was offered a chance to join it. That would be a long time ago, and he sort of took a look around, saw a barn raising event, and he said, "Too many drones."
Wow.
Basically, too many men. Basically, too many idle men.
Yep.
Too many drones. Mm-hmm. But he went to school and became a phys ed teacher. And
awesome.
There's nothing wrong with drones. I was a drone for a little while.
Was here for a second, and then he disappeared. But shit, yeah, I love getting together with people in person because you could do such a different kind of conversation. But shit, we got this pandemic, and Minnesota is sucking lately. We got 1,500 cases yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. Yeah, so it's probably not a good idea right now.
Not a good idea, but we will do that at some point. That'll be good. Yeah, but I'd like to have you on for a conversation, just to chat. Yeah.
Tom Jump lives up here too.
I know. I met Tom at down by on Lake Street, the end of Lake Street. What the hell's Lake area or whatever? At some coffee shop. So Tom and I went down to Austin to the Bat Cruise 2 years ago. Or a year ago, last year, we went down, and that's where he met Matt Dillahunty and all those guys. So
Matt Dillahunty.
Has Tom been on the AE?
He has, yeah. He's.
I don't remember seeing it.
Well, no, he's not been on AE, but he's done some stuff with Matt.
He really should. He really should be a guest sometime. Just not sit there and take questions because he would be good at that.
I went down. I've been at 2 Bat Cruises so far, and this year I don't think they're even having it, are they?
What's your favorite Tom Jump debate? Mine is. Do you remember the one with the person named Nomad?
No. Mine is with what the hell's his name? Eric Hernandez.
Oh, that would be a good one. Yes,
that was too.
Just embarrassed him. Embarrassed.
Mine was a recent one. The one he did LPP on
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, whoa. What was this debate on?
LPP had no clue. I was on Smokies and
that was the political debate, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And LPP thinks that fascism is left wing, and I'm just like, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fascism is what's happening in Washington right now. Or it's going to soon. Somebody's trying to pull it off.
Definitely go to Tom Jump's page and search for his debate with a person named Nomad, Nomad, and see if you can make it through the entire, say 5 or 10 minutes. See if you can make it without your head exploding.
I will have to check that out.
I have a feeling you won't.
My
Where does Tom specialize? Where does Tom specialize, like in philosophy, like his forte?
I don't know him that well.
Okay,
Tom is
I'm part of his server, so I suppose I could always ask him.
epistemology. He's I think that's what he's that's what he's writing a book on. So on epistemology, he has his own epistemology, and he has a rather neat presupp naturalism that he fires back at the presuppositionalists, and they don't even understand what he's doing.
Yeah, that's the thing with the like the presuppositional argument that's used. Because I remember Brenda from a while ago. Because I used to interact with Darth Dawkins a little bit, and
I've got a couple interactions with Darth.
I found the Nomad video.
Yeah,
turn it on and just play the audio pick any point in there and play it.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, like the presuppositional argument is the presuppositional argument that Darth Dawkins uses, which, if I'm recalling right, isn't very loyal to the like the Van Tillian.
No, Darth doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, Darth is amazing.
I'm pretty sure he invented the term.
Any point where Nomad is talking.
Let's see if I can get him. Is he? Which one is he?
He's the young kid.
So it's an active and passive within each of those. So moving on to like the third principle, or the third part. So fundamental reality can also be construed as that which is metaphysically necessary or most real, meaning there would be no possible world, or let's say hypothetical state of affairs where it was not actual, since any distinct thing that can possibly become independently actualized would owe its being or derive from the ontology of the fundamental unity, and thus would be contingent. This leads to sort of our second question. What is the nature of the relationship between fundamental reality and conditioned or derivative reality? Specifically, how does a purely actual state of unity, singularity, and simplicity become diversity, multiplicity, and complexity, and vice versa? This brings us to the third principle of the axis, principle of ontological emergence, which basically states all potentiality or actualized potentials are derivative of or reducible to some other actuality. Anything actual is either a compounding potential of a deeper, more primitive actuality, or a reductive potential of a subsequent actuality, or both. Compounding potential describes the identity.
Holy shit! He's got him.
That was
really
fucking
modal argument.
Wow. I don't even know what the fuck he was trying to say.
Flavor texting the modal argument. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh my god! There's a transcript for that. I'm gonna get the transcript.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to use the modal argument, which is that if something can exist in any possible world, then it exists in all possible worlds.
Which,
therefore,
yeah, it's the dumbest argument ever. The modal ontological argument. Craig uses that.
Yeah. Right. It's really bad.
It goes on like that for like an hour.
Holy shit.
It's a very poor argument.
Look at Tom's face.
Literally everything.
It's like saying I can think of a maximally great dragon, therefore dragons exist.
Yeah.
No, it's even worse. I can think of a dragon that exists in at least one possible universe. Since I can think of a dragon that exists in at least one possible universe, dragons exist in all possible universes because it's better for a dragon to be actualized than a dragon to be potential.
Yep.
Well, guys,
not as bad as tag.
Hmm?
I said it's about as bad as tag, the transcendental argument for God, which is a presuppositional argument.
The worst thing I've ever heard is Eric Hernandez with his fucking an elephant. It can't be in your brain or whatever he's saying. It's just like I really want to stick a pin in that son of a bitch someday.
Well, he when he debated Aaron Ra on the Gospel Truth, I thought Aaron Ra did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one is inspiring philosophy.
Yeah, I want to debate him because I think that he would actually pose somewhat of a. I think he's wrong. I think it could be one could show him wrong, but I think that he would be more of a challenge than like an Eric Hernandez or an LPP or any of these other dumbass members from the Brotherhood could ever hope to be.
I mean, he's
he's better than Eric.
He's not stupid. He's dishonest. Well, at least very.
He's very good at like constructing arguments that are kind of like niche.
Yes.
Like he has one
like
on
his digital physics argument and his it? He's got another one about consciousness. I want to say the retro something argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his arguments are like I almost see them as like very new agey kind of arguments.
Oh yeah.
In a way.
And that's one of the reasons why I give him credit is because he's not really like with his digital physics argument. It's not really a good argument, and I can get to that there in a second. But at least he's trying to formulate his own unique arguments and not rehashing the same thousands-year-old arguments that have been refuted just as many times. And the thing about his digital physics argument is it's wrong because he's assuming the truth of the holographic principle, which is really more just a toy for physicists to use. We don't expect our universe to be holographic, and obviously I'm speaking in a mathematical sense, and I'm sure most of you understand what I mean, because that requires our universe to be an anti-de Sitter space, and our universe is not an anti-de Sitter space.
I don't know what a de Sitter space is.
Yeah. It has to do with so an anti-de Sitter space, I believe, is a space with negative curvature, and our universe is considered to be flat. It's almost flat as far as we know. It has a very, 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 very slight positive curvature, which is why I believe they consider our universe to be a de Sitter space.
Yeah, what I heard you say is that the Earth is flat.
That's exactly what I
I love trolling flat earthers. I would say, so is the Earth like flat like this, or is it like flat on the side? Like how does that work, or is it like off at a weird angle? You know, what are we talking about here?
And they just look at me like, try to get them to decide the difference between flat and level. They're two different concepts.
Brainbug is having babies right now.
And also, they think that airplanes are violating the law of gravity.
Yes. And the funny thing is gravity isn't actually a law. It's a theory. There's Newton's universal gravitational constant, which I guess you could try to say as a light. I would argue it's more of a constant. But Newton's gravity were laws, but we now know that that's not exactly what gravity is. So that, and I always say that's why it's Einstein's general theory of relativity.
They deny that gravity even exists.
And see, that's the thing. I was on Discord, and there was a guy who was, and he said, you know what? He said he knows a lot of he's not a flat earther, but he says, I know their arguments well, and I like to have mock discussions with people just to see what arguments they bring, and if I can try to make something. And I was like, all right. And he pulled the whole gravity thing, and it's not real, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, so can you tell me which one of the equations, which one of the tensor equations in Einstein's field equations is wrong, and how you figure that out? And he was like, what? And I was like, so if gravity is if how we understand gravity, as Nathan Thompson puts it, is, well, space is all bendy and everything. If you're going to say that's not what gravity is, then which one of the 10 tensor equations is wrong, and how did you figure that out?
Yeah, I told a group of flat earthers once about space and time being bent, and I just got met with peals of laughter. It was the craziest thing they had ever heard. They think I'm out of my mind.
And it's because it is somewhat of a non-intuitive concept, but that's because almost all of physics is non-intuitive. But the other thing is that is also somewhat of an intuitive description of what it is that is still non-intuitive. The best way to put it is its curvature in the geometry of space-time is the best way. So mass energy stresses space-time, and we can pick that up as geometric curvature in its structure.
Yeah.
And I've tried to explain that to actual flat earthers, and they're just like, that's just word salad. And I'm just like, no, you just don't understand the physics well enough. Because they don't. It's pretty sad.
Holy shit.
What?
Well, they think density is a force.
I know.
Looking at Phasmatopia.
I don't know what that is.
Stick-like insects. I believe that's what Brainbug is currently having. He's having a babies.
It's a baby.
It's
Don't
a baby.
eat them because I know you're an atheist, and you know us atheists love our babies.
Babies.
I like mine sautéed with some onions. Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, onion baby. Very good. Yep. I like it. Hey guys, I think I want to go eat my hamburger now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for inviting me in. Shoot me emails if you
Yes.
want to contact
Yeah,
me.
we'll get together and
Put the
talk.
email in the chat.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
Yeah, it's in the private chat
private
stream.
here.
yeah, we got it in private chat. I'm going to try to address this Otangelo. Something about, I don't know. I'm trying to like state what the creationists are asking of us when they ask us. You have to show us that the ribosome evolved or whatever the fuck, and the ridiculous, the way they've got it set up so that, and this little video that I had from Otangelo, this shows it really well. The unbalanced argumentation that they engage in. They don't have to show us anything, but God did. Like, okay, if you listen to Standing for Truth and he's talking about created heterozygosity, he just keeps making new shit up.
Yeah. Well, created heterozygosity is basically begging the question.
And
right?
I can make anything up too. I can make up that we all started last Thursday and the universe is going to end on Wednesday, and that's going to start up right where we are, and we're going to be doing this forever. But I mean, I can make that shit up too. So they can basically make up anything they want with their and they hate when we call them Magic Sky Daddy, but that's what they hate the word magic. But when you look up the definition of magic,
it's the same thing.
Well, when you look up the definition of magic and you look for the definition of miracle, they're the exact same fucking thing.
They're both the utilization of supernatural forces, entities, spirits, whatever you want to call it, to influence the natural world. But I like the way that R and Raw words God, a magical, anthropomorphic, immortal.
Yeah, exactly. Anthropic is the important part.
Anthropomorphic.
Aaron
I like
Ross is a little worked up now and then, doesn't he?
I like anthropic because it combines.
Well, anthropic wouldn't really be correct there.
Excuse me, Leo. I made the fucking word up to mean anthropocentric and anthropomorphic at the same time, and I call it anthropic. I make words up all the time because it's my fucking channel.
You do know anthropic is the word, right?
Well, because I call the anthropic principle the anthropic principle.
Yeah, no. But when you're referring to something like that, you wouldn't use the word anthropic. You would use the word anthropomorphic.
Oh,
you need the morph there because it's not relating to humans. It's taking on human-like characteristics. Human morphic, to take on. It's anthropomorphic is the technically correct term to use.
Being pedantic.
I have Asperger's. I am very much overly pedantic when it comes to grammar.
We know.
Very much so.
You don't need to remind us.
I just got tired of saying anthropocentric and anthropomorphic.
Anthropocentric wouldn't be correct either.
Barely say either one. So anthropic. Okay, I'll make up a new word just to make you happy.
No, that's not going to make me happy.
Well, how I look at it is like this.
I don't care if it makes you happy, Leo. Fuck you. I'm ending the stream soon.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Should we call it a night?
We should. Yeah.
Let's all say bye and a broadcast. And
as always, Stan Amelia Clark.
Yes. And and fuck you, Smokey.
Smokey, fuck you.
Icky Taint the racist.
Ending.